guess. You're going to have to monitor the YouTube chat room and the Twitch chat room.
Oh, I'll do that. Don't worry. I'll check what people are on about. Don't you worry.
I've got so many things to juggle. I already had to restart the computer.
I'll be on in the case. It's fine. Let's have a look. So I'm on the YouTubes and I'm on the old thing. Right, I'm in them. I'm in them both.
Great.
And we're streaming on both.
Great.
We're on both.
Thanks for keeping me posted.
That's okay. There's one person, two people watching now on the YouTubes.
That's great.
And there's exactly 0 people watching on the Twitch. Just letting you know. I will keep you updated if any of that shit changes throughout the show.
Great.
Okay. Free watching now on YouTube.
Okay, stop.
Update. What's the matter? You said there's only 2 now. I think I've just put them off.
No. What I said was you need to monitor the YouTube and Twitch chats.
I didn't say anything.
No. You are constantly referring to how many viewers we have, which I said nothing about.
Oh, something changed. We've got 2 on the Twitch, and someone's made a comment. What's the matter?
You can keep doing that if you want. I'm just going to there's a cause and effect going on here. You keep doing that, I'll keep doing this. So it's up to you.
Mint Save says, "Sup, fellas." I'm just buzzing on the.
Okay, yes, I jumped the gun there.
Calm down with that buzzer button, baby.
I was driven to it.
Christ.
Someone made me do it.
Anyway, how are you? He's asking how you are.
I'm great.
He's not stressed at all.
No, not at all. Where's Antonio? Come on, Antonio.
I don't know. Where is he? Is he coming? Does he know?
He should be coming. He said he was coming. I think.
Is he coming? Where the hell is he? Is he broken?
He's on his way.
His microphone
it's only
working?
1 minute late. Calm down. Now who's
making us wait? He's 2 minutes now. Holy cow.
I have a feeling he'll be along any minute now.
Maybe.
With
that positive attitude, he probably will be.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope. Holy crap-a-roly. Anyway. So have you had to listen to Richard's mix yet? It's pretty good.
No, I haven't. I was listening to your latest mix, which I thought was pretty good.
Oh, which one? Oh, the melodic house one. I quite like a bit of melodic house. It's kind of trancey.
Hey,
but not
here
trancey.
He comes.
It's kind of like trance, but isn't. It's not as fast.
That is what house is. That's true. It's kind of like trance.
No, but trance tends to be about 135 to 140 beats per minute.
All right, now you're getting BPM counts.
Yeah,
we're done.
But melodic house and techno sounds a little bit like trance, but it's usually more in the 125 to 130 range. So
hey, Antonio, what's happening?
Hello, can you hear me? All good?
All good.
Lovely, happy days. Hello, everybody. Hello.
All right.
You're sounding very velvety there, Antonio.
That's right.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Velvet.
Any reason that we shouldn't begin right away, Antonio?
No, let's just begin right away.
I was asking Antonio.
I'm ready, sir.
Okay.
Now, mate, bring it on. I'm ready.
Let's start the motherfucking show, bitch.
Here we go, people. Let's do this. Best show ever. I can feel it.
Welcome, yo, to the veteran gamers. Juju fans will tell you about every single game that you play this week. News, reviews, and an indie pick. Stu story time and Chinny's game breakers. Here comes Duke with the soundbite saviors. It's the SpaghettiOs. It's the veteran gamers.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Who cares?
It's the veteran gamers. Switch that console off before you have to press repeat, yo.
Other kids in Springfield are SOBs.
Yes.
Hello and welcome to episode 651 of the Veteran Gamers Podcast.
Yay, 651. What's up, people? I'm Duke.
I'm Stu.
And I'm Chinny's regular filling in person. Hello, everyone.
We lied.
Antonio's in the building. Welcome,
Hello, everyone.
special guest host.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, we are not military veterans, people. We are veterans of the gaming lifestyle.
I'm very well, thank you. And yes, I'm also, I guess, one of them now too. Hello. Yeah, I'm doing very fine, thank you. I had
Yeah.
played pretty much nothing until today, so luckily there is some content from me, but it's all
Alright.
been last minute,
we'll
including
get
the
to
game I was
that.
told to play via Twitter.
The world
I
wants
know,
to know
yes,
how
I
your new
was
gig is, because last time we heard
game.
you, there's this new gig you were taking on, and now it's a week later.
Well, I had already started it when I was on the show, but yeah, I've taken on more clients. I crunch for the first time starting the job, which you know, every job you have, there's always some kind of crunch at some point.
Yes.
But yeah, big clients, big money. I don't know. I haven't signed any NDA, so I can say what I've worked on.
Woo!
I helped Square Enix with their new Outriders DLC, which I'm looking forward to.
Very cool.
Releasing soon. And yeah, it's going well. Thank you very much, man. Yeah,
That's awesome.
honestly, I'm really enjoying it. I'm very grateful to have it after years of grinding.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
Thank you.
And Stu,
Thank
how's
you so
your
much,
life
man.
been?
It's been all right this week. You know, the weather's been a bit nicer, but I've been working quite a bit. People on holiday at work. It's that time of year, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
So I haven't had
Well,
as
it's
much
Glastonbury as
time.
well. So I'm
And
pretty sure some
Glastonbury.
people must have been off. Shout out to Susan, who's probably having the time of her life over there right now.
Yeah, I've had regular updates from Susan. She was watching Marshall Jefferson on the first day. She was there on the Thursday,
Okay.
DJing. He was playing some very old school house music, which was pretty cool. And she was, for some weird reason, right, and I don't want to call her out, but she was listening to George Ezra today on the John Peel stage.
Is that a problem?
It's George Ezra.
So?
It's kind of like, I don't know, there's something about him. All his songs sound the same. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what
never
his
heard this
song is, it
person.
just sounds the same.
Okay.
He's a bit of a, I don't know, he's not my cup of tea. Just
Okay.
saying.
That's
Not
fine.
my cup of tea. Although we did catch Diana Ross tonight on the telly,
Hey.
and she murdered her own songs. I mean, it was
Oh,
not
really?
great. The first half was shocking. I mean, she was out of key. She was flat. She was shouting at some points. It was a bit weird. But I feel like I'm thinking she had some issues with. I don't know what they call those things. You know, the things you stick in your ears so you can hear yourself.
Earplugs.
No, they're like
I think they're just known as earpieces. But yeah, if you don't know, they literally are so you can hear yourself. Because
So you
on
can
stage,
hear yourself, so
cannot
you-
Right.
see or hear anything really.
Yeah, so that you know that you're in key and you're singing all right. I feel like she was having issues with that because halfway through she suddenly started sounding sort of okay, and we're probably going to get a thingy strike for this that you're showing now. By the way,
What?
Chinny will not be happy.
What?
Chinny is
Oh,
going
for
to
God's sake.
lose
Everything I do these days, it's like, don't put that up there. Don't play this sound.
know.
Don't do that. There's a robot that's not going to like that, and therefore Chinny's
Yeah,
not going to
yeah,
like
there
it.
I'm assuming you're putting it on the stream. It is the BBC who broadcasts
No,
Glastonbury. They
no,
will strike
can't
you down.
show it. We're lucky we can show this. Maybe I should
No,
just show a
you
black
can't
screen.
show it. We'll
damn.
get a copyright strike. I'm telling you now. But anyway, that's fine.
Wait, why is it on
Whatever.
YouTube if it's not allowed on YouTube?
Because you're
I
not
know, I
allowed
know,
to
I know.
use other people's stuff off YouTube on your channel, basically. Because it's kind of like the saying,
I don't
you're
get
using
it.
other
I
people's
don't
stuff to
understand
promote your own
anything at
channel.
all. It's fair use. Like there ought to be something that says we're not making money from this, therefore it's fair use.
I mean, you're telling me, man, I've been doing this stuff nearly half my life, over half
Yeah.
my life at this point.
Amen.
Yeah.
It's weird. I nearly pulled a Stuart and told a story regarding the earpieces, but I held back.
No, do it. It's story time. We need a
My
good
favorite
story.
time. It's story time.
Story time.
Well, one of the reasons they have them is to have a metronome, so you can know that you're following the tune. And
Okay.
I follow a band called Polypheria, which is a instrumental metal band.
Ah.
And the drummer, and if you don't follow music, I'm sure you know, Duke, but drums kind of keep the pace of the song. If the drum's off key,
Yes.
everything's gone wrong.
Sure.
His earpiece didn't work, so there was a roadie underneath it, under the stage, tapping him, doing the metronome for a whole hour-long set.
Wow.
So for an hour, he was tapping his leg, so the drummer knew what was going on in terms of the
Man,
metronome.
that's
I just thought that was really impressive.
You don't quite realize how important those things are for these artists on stage, you know, because I'll be honest, halfway through she kept fiddling with a bell, and that's where it was kept, like the radio thing that she was using, and she was fiddling with it and she kept taking it out, messing around with it, and then all of a sudden she sounded okay about halfway through the set, and I'm thinking, must have been that, but how bad did she sound? You know what I mean? She was awful. And it is amazing, just amazes me how important that stuff is. Because you know we've done karaoke. We can sing along to a tune, can't we? I don't know.
Well, but it's a different
It is
matter
great.
probably when you're in front of 7 million people and there's screaming and the speakers are everywhere and you know,
true.
it's
She also had an auto cue, I think, for her more recent album. Because she had an auto cue on the stage. She kept looking down, and she was obviously and some of the verses sounded a bit mumbly. You know, she knew the choruses,
yeah.
but the verses a little bit mumbly.
At least for the big performances, there normally is an auto cue there. Because I've noticed that when I first went to Glastonbury 2009, I noticed that and was very confused.
Yeah.
But then once I learned about music production, although you might create the songs, you don't always remember the tune every single time.
There you go.
Well, especially if it's new. And let's be honest,
Exactly.
she is 78. You know what I mean? She's not a spring chicken, bless her, is she?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll give her look. She had the audience in her hand towards the end, so she did her job.
After
She did
slagging
what
her
she was
off for
supposed
2 minutes, we'll give her a pass.
Look, you've got to do the sandwich, man. You gotta do
Yes,
the sandwich. So you
right.
start with some
Doing the sandwich.
like, in the middle, and then finish on a nice one. You know what I mean?
All right.
So we do the
Trying to
sandwich.
think if I have a story time. We have friends over last night. That was cool. Tuca and Birdie season 2 is on HBO, which is good. And
Oh, cool.
yeah, that's pretty much everything going on in our lives.
Is that all that's going on in your life?
All right, so I guess
Where
we're
are
going to
you
talk
going?
about video games.
Story
now.
time's over, isn't it?
What you been playing?
What you been playing? What you been playing?
All right, who's starting?
Anyway, I think what we should do is talk about I gave you two a mission to play a particular game. It
You
was
gave us
free to
homework.
play. I gave you some homework. I'm like, let's play a game together. And then
Yeah.
we can talk about it together.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do. So I came across this while I was looking at the Steam sale, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
And it was in the freebies at the bottom. And I was like, what's this? And it had overwhelmingly positive reviews. So I'm guessing it might be pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's called The Looker. All right. Now, there's a reason it's called The Looker.
Yeah.
Because it is a parody game. So we should say that from the outset.
Yeah. So what is it a parody
Well-
of, Stuart?
A parody of The Witness.
Get it? Looker?
The Looker.
Witness?
The Witness.
Get it?
Do you see what he
But
did?
do you get it, though?
I do. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I totally
Now,
get it.
Antonio,
But-
have you played The Witness?
Yeah, it was a PlayStation Plus game. I remember.
Okay.
I think it was. Yes, I played it. It wasn't for me.
Okay.
I'm not massive into puzzles. I'm a bit thick in the head.
Okay.
But I personally enjoyed this parody. I actually enjoyed
Okay.
it. Made by one guy as well. From reading the
Yeah.
reviews. Made
Do you
by
know
one
what,
guy.
though?
Wow. I thought I would have an
I'll be-
ally here because I'm sorry to break this to all of you, but
Piece of shit.
I've not
I'll
played The
begin-
Witness, so therefore I have no basis for understanding this parody.
Yeah.
So
Well,
It's very
I'll-
wholly reliant on that, in my opinion.
Well,
Because
yeah,
gameplay wise,
totally
it
makes
is.
sense.
There's not much there at all.
and I worry that maybe
it's
I
more-
got spoilers for The Witness based on this parody.
No, you didn't.
Well,
You might
I
have
don't
if you
trust
played
your
it to
view
the
on what
end.
is not a spoiler.
Have you
Stuart.
played it to the end?
The Looker?
I haven't
Yeah.
personally, no.
No, apparently it's all about the ending. So
Yes.
if you played The
And
Witness, it will
it is,
make
and
sense.
it's a very erudite, academic, intellectual ending. It's just so clever.
Have you played? You've actually played and finished this?
You told me to play this game, so I played this game.
Well, I know, but
What a
Wait a
crazy
minute.
idea! I know.
I've
Dude, give me
told
$5 here. Why'd you give me $5?
I've told you to play games before, but you don't always play them till the
Yeah,
end.
okay,
I'm
fair
quite
enough. But if it's
impressed.
free, I'm gonna give it a shot.
I'm
Especially if it
impressed.
only
I am
takes
impressed.
like an hour or so. Especially if
Yeah,
I
it
have
doesn't take
the walkthrough right there, so I can just quickly move right through
Oh,
it.
that's what you did.
Well, I was
You
going to
didn't
wait
try
to talk about
playing
this,
Bentley.
but since you mention it, go ahead. You lead the discussion. I'm not trying to hijack
Well,
this. You both
I was going
enjoyed
to
it.
say,
Go ahead.
first of all, I think you put a lot of effort in for a free game. It looks
Yeah.
all right. It looks
It's a love
pretty
letter
good. I
of
mean,
sorts, yeah.
And I also think he got a little bit. It started off as a parody, and then he actually started to make some more difficult puzzles as he went along. Some of them were a bit too obtuse for me, though.
Well, yeah, exactly. Some of them are impossible. Because here, okay, look, we don't try to spoil things, but on the other hand, it's a free game and it's really not
It's
worth
a
playing,
freebie,
so
but I don't
whatever.
think that
There's a puzzle that you find about a third of the way through, depending on which way you go. it's a maze. It's a huge maze, and it's an impossible maze. It's the 2-color maze, and I had done everything else I could do before reaching that point. So I had gone through and tried to find all the different places I could go along. And eventually I was like, okay, there's no way to proceed. I have to figure out what I'm supposed to do here. And I found this walkthrough, and it said, fortunately, you can draw through some of the lines on the maze. So as soon as that happens, the entire rules of everything are just thrown away. There's no telling what you're supposed to be doing at any given point in the game if the walls of the maze don't count.
Mm-hmm.
Then you might be able to go through the floor. You might be able to just start flying. You might be able to shoot everybody and then just walk out. There's no way of, and that's the thing about a puzzle game is that, Portal has a set of rules, and they don't break those rules ever. And that's why it's so elegant, in my opinion.
That's a very fair point, but that was almost the breaking point in terms of thinking it's a serious game. Because I did the exact same thing in the sense of I did everything I could, traced around it. I thought I was being a moron, and then I just thought, so I just scribble around a bit, and then it worked. So then I watched a video by a YouTuber that I enjoy, and then I fully got the picture of this is a commentary regarding that game. So then I went and read the Steam reviews, and that is where most of this praise comes from, in my opinion. It's not the quality of the game, it is the commentary of the witness. There's a bit involving a gun, which just made me smile how silly it is. But again, did I have fun with it? Not really, because I didn't play enough of the witness to have a good formal opinion of it. But it's an interesting experiment at the very least. And as someone who, loves a good commentary on something or a pastiche of something, yeah, I thought it was a funny little novelty.
Yes. And there were humorous parts, don't get me wrong. There's one part where I don't know if this is in the witness or not, but there's a quote. There's these audio recordings lying around, and one of them was cute because it was like, I kept looking and I couldn't find it, and then eventually I discovered 10% off all used cars at Freddy's car place. All right, that's pretty cute because it's sounding like it's this big philosophical thing, and then it becomes a stupid used car thing. And then another audio recording has this quote from a book. And then it says at the end, and the quote is, highfalutin, sounds really fancy, but it's basically not saying anything. And then he says at the end, the author in the book, Italo Calvino, Invisible Cities 2, this time they're visible. And that's a very funny joke if you know that Italo Calvino is an Italian writer who wrote a book called Invisible Cities. So it's like, okay, I see what you did there. That's pretty clever. And it makes me think, maybe the witness has a quote from Italo Calvino.
That is a joke just for you, dude.
Well, yeah, exactly. Unless it's in the original game, which I suspect it might be.
I don't think it is. There's not really any voiceovers or anything like that in The Witness. It's basically just wandering around an island solving these puzzles.
That is pretty much all I remember from that game. That and mazes. That's all I remember.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this isn't as obtuse as The Witness, to be fair.
Well, yeah, there's a reason for me to never go near The Witness then.
Personally, yes. I would never. I would. That's a game I'd never give to you, Eric. Is The Witness?
Well,
I must say.
That's funny. A lot of people say it's the greatest puzzle game ever. It's so interesting. But people said that about there's the one where the robots in the line. You have to line up the light beams.
Oh, the Talos Principle.
Talos Principle. Thank you. Principle. Parts of that are awesome, but then it reaches a point where it's you're
that's
moving,
in VR, by the way.
It's like pixels, and you have to get it exactly right, and then run for 2 minutes to get back to the place where you put the mirror if it wasn't exactly right. And it just reached a point where it's tedious and annoying. And I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
I can see that with The Witness too.
This game definitely doesn't take itself too seriously. No. It is all about.
But there are some clever puzzles, like the one we're looking at now on the screen. You've got these cannons, and you've got these
perspective
ships, and you have to line it up. And it took me a little while to get all the ships, but it's pretty cute and satisfying when you get them. I'll give it credit.
Yeah, I mean the guy's put some effort in. I mean, I'm not being. He has put effort in for a freebie.
Yeah,
and he's showing he's obviously got talent.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's animation wise, and like I say, it doesn't look like if you asked me, was this a free game? I'd probably say no.
Right. And I mean, ultimately, I think the biggest, the thing I said earlier about the rules going out the window, that's one thing, but that's really more of a symptom of a larger problem, which is I feel like he kind of got bored with the game he was making, and then he decided to make it this other kind of game. And then he got bored with that, so he made it this other kind of game. And then he got back to it, and he was like, okay, now let's bring it back and make it a puzzle game again. So, like, I don't know if y'all ever went backwards. When you start out, you're in this hallway.
Literally go back. Yeah, I did. Yeah, and I found the ammo and the health pack.
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
And also the ability to...
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
there's also ability to force quit the game.
Yeah.
If you go to the part, there's like a board that says start and quit. If you do this, it will erase your save, which it does.
Which it does. So that's kind of clever. You know, he's putting, and, you know, there's a part where it becomes a horror psychological game, and you're just in this weird, creepy area, and you're like, jump scare. And, you know, and whatever. And then there's the chess thing, which isn't really playing chess, and cute little funny fake quotes from Bobby Fischer and stuff. So, I mean, whatever. Like, I recognize it for what it is. I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. I just got done, and I was like, nah, because the whole time I'm like, I'll bet if I played The Witness, I would like this.
Yeah, enjoy is a stretch.
Well,
but, like,
okay,
I
enough.
appreciate it for what it is, I guess.
Yeah, and the effort you put in to make it.
Yeah, well.
You know what I mean?
The snake thing was annoying as shit.
The snake thing, I don't know where I've got that far.
Maybe you haven't gotten to that. You'll have fun with it.
I've literally just see. I wouldn't have realized this was a thing. You know what he's doing currently on the screen with the arcade cabinet.
Yes, that's the snake.
I didn't even know. Yeah, I didn't even know you could draw on it.
Yes. Well, you have to start it up by connecting the S and the E.
No, I wouldn't have even realized that. It never occurred.
Well,
to me
that's the thing is with the door earlier on, and it's like stop, no entry. You have to connect the S and the E because once you realize that everything's a maze.
Yeah.
There's a start and the end, and then it becomes S and E, and then any sign that has any letters, you just find the S and the E and you connect them.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever. Anyway, that's the Looker. Anything else to say about it?
No, I think it's all right for a freebie. It's worth a look.
It was worth every penny.
The Looker is worth a look.
I see what you did there.
There you go. You see what I did there?
Right.
You're right. Once you do realize S and E's are what you're looking for, then you can start to solve other what more that will seem impossible to solve on first glance, I guess.
Yes.
So give it a go. Give it a go, people. It's free. It's on Steam. You don't have to pay.
Don't give it a go.
There you go.
All right, Antonio, what do you got next?
Don't give it a go.
There was a new Turtles in Time game.
A new what?
Oh, I saw this.
Turtles in Time. Okay.
Well, Turtles in Time was one on the SNES, I think it was. So basically, TMNT, popular series. I'm sure we all know it. Lots of video games, lots of brawlers. I do enjoy them. I have a MAME arcade machine back home that I love playing TMNT arcade games on. So this is right up my alley, and yeah, it's wicked. It
is
literally
this Shredder's Revenge?
Shredder's Revenge, yes, it's on Game Pass, which is how I played it. Yeah. I played 2 levels, but then wanted to save it for when I go back home to see my family because I love this game. It's amazing. It is a classic style brawler. It's developed by, I believe, the same people who did Streets of Rage 4, which was a recent, modern reboot-esque kind of sequel thingy. Okay. And I personally really enjoyed that game a lot. The few gimmicks here are you can play online, and there's up to 6 players co-op, which I think is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So, wait a minute. How can you have 6 players co-op when there's only 4 turtles?
So there's
Splinter.
You're just showing your lack of
really.
Knowledge,
what about, is his Krang in it? Is Krang?
Krang is in it? Yeah. So
there we go.
Characters. You can play as Krang, and you can play as April O'Neil as well, which is like a reporter character in the show. And there's also unlockable characters when you beat the game, apparently, but I haven't looked at them. Spoilers. From watching gameplay of 6 players, it looks like crazy over-the-top party brawler fun, a bit like playing, say, the Simpsons arcade game. You're just mashing one button and going crazy. But when you're on your own, it's a surprisingly technical brawler. Like, when you first load up the game for the first time and click play, it shows you a how-to screen. And there's not just like 4 pages of jump, move, X. There's 25 pages. So it's surprisingly complex if you want to be complex with it. Well, so there is only really 2 attacks. There's a light and a heavy, but there's also dodging, dodge cancelling, air combos, launch combos. So it's a surprisingly deep game if you want it to be deep, which is what I love. I love the kind of games that are easy to jump into but hard to master, Yeah, sure. A bit like Guitar Hero. You can jump in with 3 buttons if you want to, or you can do the stupidly hard things that will probably give me arthritis. And
premature arthritis.
I won't do it for the audience, but my hands do crack a lot, and it probably is because of Guitar Hero. No. I really enjoy this game. To beat a dead horse in this podcast, it's on Game Pass. Give it a shot. But really, if it wasn't on Game Pass, I would have bought this already. It's so blooming good.
Cool.
I'm really looking forward to playing it with my little brothers back home because
Yeah.
I want to play it with them because this looks like a great co-op game.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
are you
This
guys
would
a
be
fan of brawlers
magnificent.
at all? Like Streets of Rage back in the day, for example?
No, really. I mean, when I was sort of younger, the pub next door to where I lived had Double Dragon, of course. So we
Ooh,
played an
very nice.
absolute shit ton
Classic.
of that.
Yeah, I played a lot of the Simpsons 4-player Gauntlet, if that qualifies. I played a lot of that.
That's it.
I was more into like the feel of these games, but I never really spent a lot of time with many of them. So yeah, I like them in theory.
Well, the
but-
benefit in theory is the benefit in practice is they're always really short.
yeah,
Like apparently
Right.
beating this game, there's like 6 or 7 stages. A stage takes about 5 minutes, and that's
Okay.
with you going through the first time. So it's
Yeah.
one of those infinitely replayable games if you want to
Yeah.
go through and speed run it or not get hit. There's just shed load of challenges, lots of unlockables apparently. Yeah,
Cool.
I'm really enjoying this. Really,
the
really enjoying
graphics
this.
are
But yeah, I
classic
mean,
old school.
Sorry, you.
The graphics are classic old school. Nice, cute
They are.
design.
They are. The
pixelated.
soundtrack is superb. It was done by the dude who did Sonic Mania, so it's got that kind
Okay.
of modern chiptune-esque sound to it. It's really, really enjoyable. Lots of like nods if you're a Turtles fan like I am.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this. But if you're not a Turtles fan, you can easily enjoy this just because it's a solid brawler.
That's what you want sometimes.
And it has Krang in it, as they
right.
said on 30
I need you guys
Rock.
to write a sketch with a non-speaking part for whoever wins this dumb contest. And do not write another sketch about Krang from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. No one knows who Krang is. It would be a waste of time to talk about Krang on television. No more Krang.
Get
Yeah,
it?
it's
Because they're
totally
talking about
true.
Krang on television. It's very
Yeah,
meta
who the
and
hell is
clever.
Krang? I don't even know who Krang
That's
is.
because you're an idiot. No offense.
No, it's not. Because I'm not a Turtles fan, I
Yeah,
guess.
which makes you an idiot. Not really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really
but
enjoying
the
this.
turtles are awesome. We're in a sewer, Amy. I'm going to talk about the turtles. There's a little something for Amar. You're welcome. And all the other Brooklyn Nine-Nine fans. Yeah, anything else about Shredder's Revenge there, Antonio?
Afraid not. Only giving it a few stages because I want to save it to play with my little brothers back home. But yeah, honestly, give it a shot if you can on Game Pass. But if you're a brawler fan, when you're younger or even nowadays, don't miss it. It's top class in terms of being a brawler.
Word.
Yeah, it
All
was pretty
right.
good. I mean, I was going to say when we used to play Double Dragon because so literally what would happen is about every 2 months he would bring a new arcade cabinet for the pub, so they only ever had one at a time. But when they got them, we used to just play the fucking shit out of them, like every night, and we got good. We got good at these things,
I would hope so.
We
if
used
you're
to
playing
see
them every
that.
night.
That end Double Dragon screen, we saw that quite a lot, when we
Yeah.
were playing. Because sometimes we could run through a whole game without losing
Yeah.
any lives. It was just ridiculous.
Well, there was a sandwich shop near a place I was living in Gainesville, Florida, once upon a time, and they had the RoboCop arcade cabinet, and that was a very good video game. And I'll never forget. One day I went in there and I beat the whole game on 1/4, and
There you
that's
go.
a hard game. So I'm still very proud of that. It's one of my proudest achievements in gaming.
Yeah. I mean, those arcade cabinets were made to take your money.
Well, of course.
So if you can beat them on 1/4 or
Yeah.
110p in arcades,
That's right.
that's a pretty good achievement.
That's right.
So yeah, we used to have, I think as well, Wonder Boy was the other one that they had,
Well, all right.
and we played
That's
that
a
a
side
lot.
scroller, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is that a side scroller? Yeah, I thought so.
yeah, it was. And we got really good at that as well. And we used to obviously challenge each other to see how far you could get on 110p. And I used to think I was great at it. And then I went to Arcade Club and I'm like, I'm going to be fucking awesome at this. And I was shit at it. And died almost instantly. Which is a bit like track and field. Because like,
We played
I
that,
really,
didn't we?
That was classic.
yeah, we played that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
the
that was
arcade
another
club, yeah.
one. We went on a holiday to Spain and they had that in the bottom of the hotel.
Oh,
And it was pissing it. We had one of those weeks when it rained a lot. So all we did was play track and field and we had the world records on every level.
Woo!
And I'm like, I'm gonna be the fucking balls at this. And I was actually balls at it. I was terrible. But when you're a little kid and you play things for a whole week, you get good at it. And then when you're old and you've not played it for 30 years, you're pretty shit at it.
You really suck.
Yeah, it's pretty much the case.
Yeah.
Right, who wants to go next?
You're next,
Stu. You
Stu.
want me to go? Me?
Go ahead, Stu.
I'm
Yeah.
going to talk about a game that is amazing, and that game is Dead Space 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So, this sort of came out a long time ago now.
A
When was
long
it?
time
We,
ago in
we,
a
we,
galaxy
we were
far,
arguing
far
about this.
away.
Was it 2011, 2012?
I have
My
no
instinct
idea.
guess is 2011, but let's have a look.
Yeah, 2011, 2012. It's a long. It's 10 years
2011.
ago at least.
2011.
This game still looks fucking amazing, right? And I know they've prettied it up a bit. You know, it's got HDR and all that kind of stuff on it. But, and I said this when I was talking about it last time. If you asked me when this came out, I would quite happily say the last 5 years. You know what I mean? Because it plays well, it's animated well, the voice acting's really good, the combat's excellent. It's just such a great game. I'm absolutely loving just going back to sort of play these games from 10 years ago and just marveling at how well made they were.
Well, yeah, that's what I do with Skyrim.
Yeah, well, not too sure.
Say
Big
something
glitchy,
bad
man.
about Skyrim. See what happens.
It's big glitchy. So there's quite a few glitches still in there. I mean, that game's been out
So
10
what?
years and it's still glitches.
Whatever, it's fun.
This smooth as butter, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't had a single bug.
Okay.
I mean, this game is smooth,
That's
slick.
great.
This game is slick. But yeah, it's amazing. The story's great. The tension is amazing. Oh yeah, it is slick.
Yeah.
And just every it's the attention to detail that gets you. You know, even that little animation coming out of the Earthshaft is great. You know, they really thought about how everything looks and feels when you're playing the game.
Yes.
It's just incredible. You know, and again, I said to Millie's boyfriend, like, "Oh, you played Dead Space 2? Never played it." I'm like, "For God's
This is
sake,
the only
play the
interaction
game."
Stu has with Millie's boyfriend. It's like, have
Yeah,
you
it
played
is.
this?
Video
No, what
game.
is wrong with you? Why haven't you played it?
Totally
Next
true.
week. Hey, did you ever play Dead Space 2? No. God
it's
damn
totally
it.
true.
Millie, why are you dating this asshole?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, everyone out there who's of an age who probably wasn't old enough when this came out or never played it I mean, I know you probably weren't old enough, Antonio, but played it anyway.
I played Dead Space 2 in like 2019. I played Dead Space 1 in like 2014. They're both
Wow.
great. I haven't
So
played
you-
Dead
you
Space 3
came-
yet.
I'm quite shocked. that
He
you
was
didn't
always
play
old
this
for his
till-
age.
No, but I'm quite shocked he only played it in 2019, you know, because you've always been into horror games, haven't you?
Yeah. I found Dead Space 1 fine. I find Dead Space 2 fine. I do want to replay them though with the Series X enhancements and all that jazz. It's weird.
Yeah.
Dead Space 1's getting a remake right, and a friend of mine said it perfectly. It's the most necessary and yet unnecessary remake possible. Because
Yes.
it'd be nice to play like in beautiful 4K, have the beautiful chromatic aberration, tension top of the line, but Dead Space 1's still not bad.
No, that's what I mean. These
Yeah.
games still look great now.
Exactly.
You know, when you consider how long they've been out, they still look great.
Mm-hmm.
Such a good game, honestly.
Is Dead Space 3 next though? That's the real question.
No, I
There you
played
go,
that.
then.
I did play and finish it. I didn't mind it. I know a lot of people were sort of down on it because it went more actiony and less sort of horror. But it was all right. I don't remember a lot about it. It is quite weird. This game I remember quite a lot about. You know, especially remember the killer babies the first time you come across those in the game. And it was as horrible this time as well. But yeah, Dead Space 3, I barely remember what happened. So I don't know. I can't imagine I'm going to play that.
Is there any interest in the Callisto Protocol then? Do you have like a fix that needs to be said more? Or are
I
you
don't
satisfied
know.
now, would you say,
I mean,
once you beat this game?
Interestingly, I watched the trailer for that, you know, the extended gameplay trailer or whatever that was on it, the Game Fest or whatever it was. And I wasn't that blown away. It looked okay. You know what I mean? It looked fine. But I don't know. I feel like it's hard. See, Dead Space and Dead Space 2 were just so almost the perfect horror game for me. Because it had the jump scares, it had the tension, it had like the creepiness about it, had a decent story, an interesting sort of premise. I just feel like they're the sort of imitators, you know what I mean? Like is it Callisto Protocol?
Callisto Protocol, yeah. I mean, it's been developed by the dudes who made Dead Space, so you can say imitation or spiritual successor. You know, they're almost hand in hand.
I know, but then is that what you want? Just more
That's
of
a
the
great
same?
question. That's a
I
great
don't
question.
know.
That is a great question.
I'm not sure. I'm not convinced at the moment. Well, I don't know. This game's great. If you're out there and you're young and you never played this because you don't know what the fuck it is, Play Dead Space 2. It's on Game Pass.
It's a horror game. You're on a spaceship. There's aliens.
Yeah, and it's fucking horrible.
Yes.
And it makes you shit yourself a lot.
Yes.
Well, not literally, thank God. But yeah, it's scary. It's a scary game.
Yes,
Give it a go. Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, over to you, Duke.
Yeah.
Not
So
much
I've been
more to
playing
say
a
about
bunch
it.
of games this week because I'm on summer break and I've been writing, but I've also been playing a lot of video games. So Red Dead Online, Chinny mentioned this at one point recently, and I got a new hard drive, so I'm like, there's no reason not to reinstall it. So I've been doing some dailies on that. Oh, it's such a great game. It's so nice to go in and just do a few activities and then bounce out, and it's just like, lovely. Rocket League has a new season. I have gotten my my diamond rankings, and I've been to Diamond 2 a couple of times. So the idea that I'm going to be champ someday is, I don't know. I'm not clinging to it. I'm not like desperate for it. I'm not trying to be thirsty, but I could see it happening. I think that would be very nice to be able to get the champ rewards at some point, some season. I've been playing a lot of Governor of Poker 3, and I've gotten to $5 million in that game. It's all make-believe money, but it's pretty cool because that means I am a high roller on that game. So now I'm scared to go below 5 million because I'll lose that high roller name tag that comes with it. Someone mentioned Limbo and Inside last week, and I was like, oh yeah, it's been a while since I played those. So I finished a puzzle game that I'm going to talk about later, and I was like, I feel like doing Limbo again. So I went through Limbo again, and Limbo is such a great game, but it is a lot harder than I remember. There are certain parts in that game that are really dependent on timing, and I had forgotten all about that. That was frustrating to me. So whatever, but I finished it, and it's still as glorious as it ever was. I'm making a musical roller coaster in Minecraft, which I had done once before, but I had forgotten how arduous it is to try to figure out like where the note blocks go on the roller coaster track in order to make them play at the right times. And then I can get the notes okay, because you have to hit the thing each time for the note. You hit it 11 times and it makes it an F or whatever. Yeah, it's a lot more frustrating than I thought it was. So I should just make roller coasters with interesting visuals, because that's easy to do. But I had this thing where I'm like, I wanted to play a song. So whatever. And then Forza Horizon 4 is another game I've been playing a lot. But those are all the preludes, and I don't really have much to say about those, so I just wanted to list those off to let people know. I've been playing a lot of games, but those are the games I'm not going to talk about much. I will say that Forza Horizon 4, the map kind of sucks in that game.
What?
It does. No, sorry, that's the wrong game. I'm sorry. I picked the wrong game. The game I have been playing that I will talk about is Batman Arkham Knight.
Oh.
All right, okay.
And that game has a pretty crappy map.
Yeah.
Refresh me then, because this is my favorite Batman game.
It's a great game. I don't mean to come out the gate
so
complaining about it,
me.
but the map is not controllable with the mouse and keyboard. You have to pan and scan with it, so it's got a crosshair on it. And if you want to figure out where you're going next, you have to move the crosshairs, like with the WASD or the control pad or whatever. So it was just like I tried clicking on something and I didn't understand why it wasn't working. Like I wanted to set a custom, point, and it set it way over here. And I'm like, what are you doing? And then I realized, oh, it's just the crosshairs. So I had to move the crosshairs to where I wanted to place the custom, guide point or whatever. The mechanics
that was the PC port, I must
Right,
say. I have to ask this
exactly.
because I played this on the Xbox One back at launch. I just looked away at all these PC problems, but reading some even recent reviews somewhat recently, because I want to replay this game, there are still some people that have issues. So
that's the only issue I had is that problem. The other, I'll say that I take that back. There's one other thing, which is okay. There's a lot of different combos and things, and on the PC, for whatever reason, they have assigned most of them to the mouse. So like, there's a combo that's like click the scroll wheel button twice, and then the right click once. And it's just, and there's a little tiny icon, and the scroll wheel is highlighted, and then the right click is highlighted, and it's hard to tell when they have a blue circle with a B on it. That's the B button, right, on the Xbox controller. Like there's no guesswork involved there. So whatever. Those are some minor gripes. As most people know, I'm 10 years late to this game, but it's beautifully done, very exciting, nice variety of challenges. It is frustrating that, first of all, it's very heavy on the narrative, which the last game I played was Arkham City, which I remember being very light on the narrative and just like fly around the city, fight crime. Here's a group of bad guys, beat them up. Why not? This is, the whole town, and there's like a 10-minute cutscene with the people eating each other in the diner, and everyone's zombies, and there's the chemical composition of this thing, and there's lots of scenes where Batman's talking to people through his arm TV, which is fine. It's not a bad thing. It's just it was more narrative than I expected. So, yeah, it is what it is. I wrote in my notes, driving the Batmobile isn't so bad. Why do people complain about this? And then I had to drive it. Then I had to drive it on the roof, and I was like, oh, that's why people complain about it.
No, there's more to hating that. I know. There's driving missions towards the end that are timed, and it's an absolute.
Oh, I'm sure. And I do like the fact, and I don't know if this was in launch, but it has the like battle mode or whatever it is, which makes it much more versatile, which I really like.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to deal with the roof if not for that, because it's back and forth.
As someone who got every Riddler trophy, which includes a shed load of Batmobile challenges and that, that is very useful, especially for like hard braking and stuff.
Oh, sure. No doubt. There was early on, it's like, choose your mission. And it was like, okay, they had introduced me to this thing where there's all these firefighters kidnapped around the city. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go save all the firefighters. And then it's like, all right, you saved one, go find the others. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're not going to like tell me where they're at? Because it said like Bleak Island or whatever it is, and there's like 6 of them there. And I'm like, where? And I thought if I chose that mission, it would like put quest indicators on the map. Nope. I'm just supposed to wander around and find them.
Till you find them, man.
Like
real life.
You know what? Yeah. Yes, my Batman video game when I'm flying around the city. I want it to be very much like real life, please.
Realistic. That's what you want.
Fuck
Realism.
outta here.
Don't give me none of that. It's like hand-holding shit.
Sometimes when I'm flying around, they'll have like dialogue from baddies down on the ground or whatever. They really did it right. The Joker did, whatever. And like there's an arrow and like an indicator 300 feet, and I'm like, oh, I'll go find them. And then like I'll go down to ground level and there's no one around, and I'm like, well, what did I do wrong? And I get the sense that it's meant to be background chatter, not like this way to a quest. But on the other hand, I know there's like they started me off on these corpses that are displayed around, and you find the first one, and they're playing classical music. So Alfred is like, and of course he's discussing these murders with Alfred. Why not? Alfred because there's one person for each type. I know, I get it. But he's like, well, the classical music appears to be a clue, so you better keep your ears peeled for that, Master Bruce. It's like, okay, fine, I get it. When I'm flying around and I hear classical music, that'll be one of the corpses I'm supposed to go investigate, which is fine. But again, like, look, it is hand-holding, I guess. But, I'm a Bethesda fanboy. Just put a fucking quest marker on the map. Let me see where I'm supposed to go. I don't want to have to actually explore. But there are people who feel differently.
Like, explore shit. Fucking hell.
It's a huge map. I don't want to wander around.
It is a huge map. No,
stumble upon firefighters. Oh, whatever. It's only frustrating if you're impatient. And I am impatient when it comes to video games. So, whatever. But I'm having a lot of fun. The takedowns are very satisfying when you can do them right. And I'm impatient, so I'm not trying to like sneak up close and then do like 3 silent attacks. I just go barreling in there, and they're shooting me, and I'm running through the bullets like, get out of my way. But so far I've only died once or twice, so it's working out pretty well.
And of course, I put mouse and keyboard.
With mouse and keyboard, yeah.
You're a mad lad for that kind of stuff, man. I could not imagine playing this game with a mouse and keyboard. I couldn't. If you're playing on hard mouse and keyboard, you're playing on extra hard. That's just impressive as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I'm not playing on hard, first of all, and secondly, like it's a game that really, I don't know, the way I play it at least, it feels like it kind of rewards spamming a little bit, especially because I put all my upgrades into. It says it can take 25% more damage on melee attacks, can take 50% more melee, can take 75% more melee. Yes, just put all the points into melee resistance and getting shot resistance. So, yeah, but here's the thing. Like, I feel like the mouse and keyboard has an advantage in terms of when you need to find a spot to grapple to, it's so much easier to flick the mouse a little bit and then it goes looking straight upward. Whereas, the camera, I don't know. I always had some trouble with the camera on controllers, so whatever. And I could play it with a controller if I wanted to, but I don't know. I think I'm addicted to the buttons on the keyboard, so whatever. It's fun.
You are a keyboard and mouse junkie.
Yeah.
Don't get no controller.
They're trying to do some mind-bending stuff, like in Arkham Asylum. There's that classic, and they even allude to it in this game. They're like, remember what happened in the asylum. It doesn't work as well here because, it's a hard act to follow, with the Joker hanging around you. But it's fine. It feels a little like, hey, remember that awesome thing we did 2 games ago? Like, this is kind of like that. It's not really like that, dude. But whatever. But the map is very frustrating. But other than that, I'm really having a good time with it. Big thumbs up on Arkham Knight. Do believe the hype on this one because it's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean they put effort into these games, don't they? They all look great.
Yeah,
It's a look at even now, in my opinion. Arkham Knight is even now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, there was almost like, when did this come out originally?
2015, I want to say, top of the head.
I think there was this almost heyday of games for about 5 years, wasn't it? From about 2009, maybe a bit longer, 2015. And then they all got too fucking busy with microtransactions and how they can fleece people more.
That's the nature of
2015. I looked at the box. With a lovely Steelbook case where it's Batman and there's a wheel. And I will say, I love Steelbook cases, but there's one thing I hate, and it's always getting the disc out. It's always a nightmare. You feel like you're going to snap the bastard. Yeah, I really enjoyed this game. It's my favorite of the series. Many would disagree, which is perfectly understandable. City is amazing.
This is the one I've only ever heard described as the best. So I'm glad I'm playing it.
I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on the narrative, because that was one of the main negative points people talked about on top of the Batmobile sequence. Because I'd say the narrative is one of the weaker points, but that's mainly due to the fact that the Arkham Knight's identity, which is very obvious if you know anything about Batman, in my opinion.
Well, now I feel stupid for not knowing, but okay.
No, but I don't know how far you're in. So
well, that's the thing. I'm not very far, but yeah.
So I'm not going to say anything. But
yeah, it's fine. The narrative feels like they're trying to be. I don't know. The question for me has always been like, what is it doing? What is it really examining here, right? Dark Knight Returns, probably the best Batman story of all time, is Batman aging, right? This question of new generations of criminals, new generations of crime fighters. The Killing Joke is probably the second best Batman story ever, and it is examining how the mind becomes insane. The Dark Knight uses a lot of concepts from those two stories. This game seems to be trying to play with especially Bruce's sense of guilt. And again, this is all early, so who knows? But, his sense of responsibility to Gordon. So whatever. We'll see. But that's just a leitmotif in all Batman stories, right? He has the sense of responsibility. I am the only one who can save Gotham. I'm the only one. I would like them to play with that. Actually, there's a comic book called Batman Ego, which is really good, and it does actually wrestle with that question of like, why you? Why does it always have to be you? Yeah, you lost your parents. We got it. Lots of people lose their parents, dude. This doesn't make you the only person who can ever do anything for the city. So, whatever. But yeah, I'm curious.
I am very curious.
Yeah.
I'll hear your thoughts as you continue, because I've always wanted to replay this and see if there is any deeper things to the narrative, because I played it 7 years ago and I know a little bit more about storytelling now, so I'd like to know to replay and find out, because
I'm pretty shy with my opinions.
I adored this.
I'm usually pretty shy with my opinions, so you'll have to pry them from me.
Yeah, he won't tell him. Only he keeps them to himself.
I keep my cards to my chest. Yeah,
it does.
All right, Antonio, you're up next. You got anything else?
I'll quickly throw in Fall Guys.
Okay.
I've been looking forward to this game going free to play because I wanted my partner to play it, but I'm a bit cheap. Didn't want to pay a tenner to get another copy of the game. There's been quite a few issues with so one benefit I love about this is a very weird thing to say, but when a game gets picked up by Epic Games, I instantly think crossplay. Because Rocket League is crossplay, and it's one of the best things about that game, apart from everything else.
Yeah.
And Fall Guys has crossplay now as well.
Okay.
If you haven't played it before, Battle Royale, 60 people. It's a very cartoony game. Think Total Wipeout, if that means anything to you. But it's a game show where you go through obstacle courses or various challenges, and the goal is basically to be number one, as any Battle Royale. It's not very skill-based, which can be a negative and a plus. Is very floaty physics. You feel very heavy at the same time, though. So there'll be times when you say jump and your guy will just fall over if someone bumps into you, which can be very funny, very frustrating in equal measures.
Yeah.
Don't take this game too seriously is my best way to play this. I don't know if you know much about this game. A lot of people online saying this game is quote dead, but in my opinion, a game is dead when there's only no people playing it and no one else. I found a game easily every time, even pre this free to play launch.
Yeah.
I personally love Fall Guys.
I remember Chinny played it for a
top
while.
Of the line?
He was
no.
pretty into it. Yeah.
Yeah, is it top of the line? Is it the best game ever made? Is it the best battle royale game out there? Probably not. It's goofy, and sometimes like me and my partner getting annoyed and laughing in equal measures. Like there's a very fun new mini game. So what was great for me was I haven't played this game in a while, so there were so many new rounds. There is one literally called, I think it's Bomb Blast or something. So the only real things you can do in this game is jump, run, dive when you're in midair, and grab. You can grab people, which can be quite funny and quite annoying, or you can grab onto a ledge or grab an item. So there's a mini game where you can grab a bomb and you've got to try and throw it at people, knock them off the edge. Simple as that. But the ground around you would start to fall away. And what would happen is it's not very complex. So you'd have to pick up the ball and try and get rid of it. Because if you head onto it, you'll blow yourself up. So what I did was I just followed someone for the entire round.
Nice.
And there was a good 2 minutes plus of him trying to pick up the ball and try and work out, okay, how can I get rid of him without killing myself? And all I would do is he'd pick up the ball and walk forward. I'd walk forward and he'd have to get rid of the ball because otherwise he killed himself. And we did that rinse and repeat for 2 minutes. The first time I did it, I was like, oh, I'm just playing this game. But then once we clicked that, he is trying to work out in his head, how can I kill him but not me?
Yeah, right.
By the second minute he was trying to do it, it was so hilarious. So I ignored the game. I didn't care about winning. And then he ended up killing himself. And I won.
Nice.
It's so fun. Like that's the thing. It is one of those games that has equal joy and anger. That's the best way to describe it. You'll be happy 1 second and you'll be one of the breaking your PS5 controller in half the next.
And that's the thing is that I get the sense that it has a lot to do with like the absurdity of how you're, when I was playing Limbo, there were certain moments when I clearly missed a handhold and he'd just go plummeting into the saw blade and I just have to laugh at oh man, that poor kid, and like I feel like that's what you have to do here. There'll be times where you laugh at yourself for doing such a stupid mistake and you'll be saying words that your mother would be ashamed of you for saying because someone bumped into you when you were trying to jump, It is best in a party. I will say when it first launched, it had the Rocket League problem of there was too many people. But unlike Rocket League, there was a massive lack of modes. So like, for example, at launch, I was playing with 3 friends, but us partying up didn't really do anything. We weren't a team in any way. So I'm very grateful now that you can play in a squad or as a duo. So what would happen is, say there's 60 people in a match, which there is. The person who comes first place gets 60 points. Then second is 59, so on and so forth. Right. And how your team is added up is the amount of points you have. Right. Such a simple feature. I wish they did that sooner, but it makes the game so much more fun. Sure. To say my partner dies straight away or I die straight away, one of us can carry the weight and try and pull it together for our team, Sure. Which I really, really like. I'm so grateful that's a feature. And is your lady enjoying it? The same as me. Okay. Be laughing 1 second, then lamenting the day we were born the next. Because we missed the jump. I got you. But yeah, it's so fun. Is it a good party game? Yes, but you might leave the party. Depends on the party, afterwards. Yeah, right. Exactly. I'd be very curious to hear your guys' thoughts on it if you ever do play it or have played it. And it's the type of thing where it's like I've never played it. Yeah, I haven't either. But it seems like the type of thing where like the awkwardness of the controls is part. It's not a bug; it's a feature. You know what I mean? It's the same way it's definitely a feature. Yes, it's not human fall flat or something like that where you're constantly fighting it. Right. It's just more you wish you had more control. Like for the people who are watching the stream, you can see that when you jump, you kind of fall like it's a sack of bricks. Right, when you dive, you kind of flop and then you wait for a second. Then your bean, they're called beans. They finally stand up. Yeah. It is a feature. I think it is a fun feature, but it's again, not 100% over the top. Like you said, you're not fighting it every minute of the game. Like you do have some control. You're not fighting it, but when you do fall over, you are mashing X or A. Like, come on, get up, kind of thing. I can see. But it's free to play now, so in the words of Stu, play it. It's free. Yeah, hasn't it been removed off Steam as well now? You can only get it. It has, That's the only downside of when Epic grabs a game because Rocket League was the same. You can't buy it on Steam now. No, obviously it's free, but you can't play it on Steam. You can't download it on Steam or anything, can you? No. So if you bought a copy beforehand, you can still play it on Steam. Same as Rocket League, but unfortunately on PC you have to go through the Epic Game Store now. So boo on that as always. I feel like they were a bit late, and I know you're saying there's still plenty of people playing it, but
This seemed to me to be a big thing about 18 months ago, not sort
Oh, for
of
sure.
now.
For sure.
But sometimes they'll go away and come back when they get free to play.
I
sure.
guess.
Like Rocket League got resurgence, definitely. Like, Rocket League was fine. Like me and Duke played it plenty.
Yeah.
There were still hundreds of thousands of people, 100,000 people playing it, but now the numbers have gone up and stayed up. Fall Guys, we will see. But there was at least 8,000 people at a time playing, which is not a dead game as far as I'm concerned. Did it fall off a cliff? Yes, but that's because it had such a massive high.
Right.
It's a bit like the recent Netflix thing. Like, I'm sure everyone knows, Netflix's stock plummeted.
Yeah.
But that was a thing of Netflix probably got as big as it's ever going to be.
Yeah, sure.
With the mix of the lot.
And let's be honest, they got almost an artificial inflation in numbers when COVID hit, and people were like, "Oh,
Exactly.
I can't go out. I'll get Netflix."
Fall Guys became massive
quite a few,
during COVID.
Few of those, it's quite a few of those people will unsubscribe because they got it for COVID.
100%, and that's what happened with Fall Guys. People can finally go outside.
Yeah,
but
but
as
still,
we know, like the bosses and the shareholders, they just want bigger profits and more people and all that kind of stuff, regardless of the reasons for it happening. They don't care. They're not bothered.
Yeah. Very true.
They just
Very
want
true.
more.
That's
more.
every video game
more
company
money.
ever. Yep.
Yeah.
Except the guy who made Tetris. He was a communist. So, all right.
Exactly.
Stu, you're up. What do you got?
Just before we move off from Fall Guys, by the way,
Bro.
we came, and it's connected to Netflix. It's Netflix.
Okay.
Netflix and Fall Guys connected. We came across a TV show on Netflix called The Ultimate Beastmaster.
Okay.
Have you seen this? Have you heard of it?
Never heard of it.
Nope.
Never heard of
No, I hadn't. And we were just flicking through stuff and came across it. And it's the best way to describe this TV show is a cross between Ninja Warrior, if you know what that is,
Yes.
and the Eurovision Song Contest.
Okay.
Because basically it's like Ninja Warrior but harder, but then there's about sort of 8 or 9 countries represented. So it's sort of and then they have the commentators for each country who are all complete lunatics.
Oh yeah.
It's one of the best things we've watched in it. It's trashy telly, and if you like Ninja Warrior, you'll like it because it's that kind of premise. And there's Britain, Brazil, Mexico, Australia. So there's all these different countries competing, Korea, and it's the commentators that make it because they're just completely bonkers.
Yeah.
So give it a watch if you've not heard of it. You want something that's just a bit of light entertainment and quite funny to watch, and it is funny.
The
'Cause there's a
Ultimate
lot of face
Beastmaster.
plants. A lot of face plants going on.
All right.
But give it a watch. I mean, these guys are fucking ridiculous as well. The stuff you see them doing, you're like, who can do that? How can you do that? You know what I mean? These guys are ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they're all boulderers and all that crap. Like fucking chucking themselves around and parkour specialists and God knows what. But it's definitely worth a watch. But anyway, moving on. Actual games. They've released an extended demo for Angerfoot. I don't know whether you're aware of this. Which is on Steam at the moment, and it's about if you manage to get through it, because it isn't easy. But if you manage to get through it, it's about 20 to 25 minutes long. So they give you a lot of stuff.
For those who don't know, this was once upon a time a free game that Stu found on itch.io.
I did. I called this. I called it.
Yes, we played it. It was cute, and then they got a lot of shine for it because we talked about it. No, they got shine for it because it blew up somehow, and now it's coming out on Steam as a proper game.
It is, and it has changed a lot, Duke.
They have polished it up a lot. Yes.
They have polished it up
right now.
There is way more shit going on. There's shotguns, Uzis.
Basically, those who don't know, it is a sort of 3D version like Doom, but it's also it's sort of like Hotline Miami, in that you're in this location and there's a lot of people trying to shoot you. You will die very quickly if you're not careful.
Die very quickly.
Yes.
My instant thing looking at this trailer was Hotline Miami X Bulletstorm of all things.
Have you played
especially
this?
with the kick?
Have you played it, Antonio?
No.
It
my
is
first time hearing about this. This looks awesome.
Awesome.
It's fun.
It
This
is
looks great.
absolutely brilliant. This
is great.
It is so slick. And it is so sassy. When you kick a door and somebody's behind it, it is fucking satisfying as well. It never gets old. It
It's on the wish
never
list
gets
now.
old.
There you go.
Well, I'll be honest, the amount of things they've changed. And I mean, what is this going on? This weird.
I don't know.
cutscene?
So the frog is touching the lady's foot with his or face with his foot, and then he's eating popcorn with his foot.
There he is. It's his girlfriend. I'm guessing.
Angerfoot is not just angry foot. He's also like drinking wine.
Like,
foot.
pick up popcorn with your foot.
Popcorn foot. Yeah.
It's impressive.
But yeah, honestly, if you've not heard of this or you don't know what it is, just get on Steam, download it, and play it because you will not be disappointed.
Yeah.
It is the most satisfying thing you can do, kicking doors in and shooting people in the face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally recommend it. Antonio, you need to play this and send us an
I
email
will.
to tell us what you think.
No, I will. How is the kick? So I have a weird thing about drop kicks in video games and how satisfying they are. So how is the kick in this? Does it feel punchy? Does it feel powerful?
Oh yeah, it does. It is very
Okay.
I mean, like
Yeah,
I
you
say,
told
when
me.
you kick a door in and it flies across the room and then kills somebody against the wall,
Mm-hmm.
very satisfying.
Good to
Very
know. Good to know.
satisfying. But they have expanded, like I say, on the gameplay, and they've made a lot more out of it from because the original demo literally was just kicking doors in and hitting people. But yeah, it's come a long way, and they polished it up a lot.
And they took his shoes.
Yeah, they did. That's what this is all about, man.
It's John Wick,
They
but
have
with
taken-
shoes instead of.
They've taken
dog.
his shoes.
Yeah.
There's no.
By the
wonder
way,
he's angry.
speaking of things that are awesome and satisfying, we watched a documentary film called Bat Kid Begins. Have y'all heard of this? This is
No.
on HBO as well. You may have heard about the event. There's this kid who had leukemia. He's like 6 years old, and you know the Make-A-Wish Foundation? He said, I want to be Batman for a day. And so it started out as like, okay.
I
like
remember the actual thing. I remember
the
the
thing
Batman for a
happening.
day
Yeah, a lot
thing.
of people did. It was a worldwide sensation. Basically, this kid, you know, they got a Lamborghini and they were gonna like drive him around.
This kid.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry,
Yeah.
you clicked my
And
brain.
no,
You
it's
clicked the
great.
brain
And like
memory.
it blew up so big. Obama was like, "Go Bat Kid," and like the whole city of San Francisco
Yeah, I
came out.
remember it.
There were all these cops volunteering their overtime, and it would just be the movie documents not only the kid and his family and all the stuff they went through, but like the logistics of it and all these people who just got drawn in and the process of it and the bond he made with the guy who played Batman. And because here's just one taste of it. He goes, at one point they're trying to figure out what suit. They had the suit for the kid, which was fine. And then the suit for the adult, they were having trouble fitting it right and all this stuff. And he goes, it doesn't matter. No one's going to be looking at me. They're going to be looking at the Bat Kid. And then someone said, yeah, but the Bat Kid's going to be looking at you.
Yeah.
And it was like, dude, what a moment. You're so right.
So the documentarians are following the Make-A-Wish team as they go through the process.
They're following the
stringing this all
family, the
together.
Make-A-Wish team. They're
Okay,
following
cool.
the police. They're following the people. They had the chief of police agree to do some videos. So they were like, hey, the police need our help, Bad Kid. And instead of just showing it on a phone, the guy said, if I have it on my phone, a video from the chief of police, it'll look like I have it on my phone. But if we can get a computer that I can wear on my wrist that will project the video on the wall, that's something Batman will have. So they're showing him making this thing for his wrist, and it breaks a day before it's supposed to happen. And then the CEO is like, I'm going to have it delivered to you. It's just a really heartwarming story about all these people coming together to make this thing happen. And
What's it
big
called again? I'm
thumbs
going to
up.
put it on my watch list because that sounds very interesting to me
Bat
as
Kid
someone who's
Begins.
produced films. Because that
Yeah.
literally just sounds like producing something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's called
Was it
Bat
called
Kid Begins. Yep, it's so
Perfect.
good. Just big
There it
thumbs
is.
up.
Perfect.
Yep.
I like, right? Because I thought he was going to say it was like controversial or
Nope.
it was controversial in the end. But no, it
Nope.
sounds like it was just all good.
Yeah, it was all good. Now, there is a critique to be made, and they make it at one point in the film. The city ended up spending a whole lot of money to make this thing happen for this kid, but that's a good reason to use money. You know what I mean? And ultimately, there was this wealthy couple that stepped in and said, hey, we're just going to pay this bill for the city so it doesn't end up costing taxpayers anything. Now, at the same time, like, you would want to see people come out and show that same love and solidarity for, like, poor kids living in the ghetto or kids living in trailer parks or, people whose parents are addicted to meth or whatever. But at the same time, it's by itself, it is still a good, cute, awesome story about a community coming together to show some love for this kid going through this horrible disease. So, yeah.
Cool.
Anyway,
I'll
that's
be
Bad
honest
Kid
with you.
Begins.
I was trying to listen to you, but I'm just keep watching Angerfoot.
Well, it's hard to compete with Angerfoot, no doubt about it. But it's my turn, yes?
I mean, I'm watching it. I'm just like, this game just gets crazier and crazier as it
yeah,
goes
it
along.
does. What a crazy game.
Yeah, it does.
What are they doing?
Gareth Brain says this looks like a more fancy Super Hot, except in Super Hot you don't move, and in this game you move very,
you're
very
moving
fast.
constantly, baby.
Yeah, you are.
All right,
Oh
my
my God.
turn. I'm going to talk about a game called Up Left Out. Now, this is a puzzle
Okay.
game. Oh, look, this looks like a... Oh, this is the mobile version of it. Whatever.
Can I
It's
ask,
fine.
is it as good as the Looker? That's just what I want to know.
It's better than the Looker because the design
What?
is so elegant.
How is that
The
possible?
design of the puzzles in the Looker are not elegant. Come on, let's be honest about that. Okay, so this game, Up Left Out, is made by... I can't remember his name now. Masej Targoni. There he is. It's just so well done. The concept is simplicity, but then it becomes, they add a little bit more. They add a little bit more. They add a little bit more. And it basically the idea is, and he's done a bunch of games. He did Hook. He did Ooh. He did. I talked about another game recently that he did called. What was it called? I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, he's done a bunch of puzzle games, and they're all fantastic.
You see, I'm watching this. I'm not
Clocky
sure what
is
he's
the other
doing.
one. So you have all these.
What's the actual point?
So the point is to get all these boxes free. And
This looks very good from like watching this clip. So yeah, the best way to describe it is you're looking at a grid. Each there's a box in a grid. There's normally one space, and you got to try and move each box so that a spot on top of it gets removed.
Right. And so,
Yeah,
but
it looks
you're
really
sliding the
interesting.
boxes, and you can rotate the boxes at some certain points, and then they add this feature where there's these walls that you have to shift. You press a button and the walls will go up or down or left and right, and so you have to rotate the boxes and then slide the walls so you can get the things free. And then later on they add pieces that have more than one unit to them, so they'll be too high, and so you have to get stuff out of the way, and so you can move them too high up. It's really good variations on a theme, and this was the kind of game where I played it. I love doing a few levels and then quitting out while I'm feeling good about my ability to solve puzzles. And I got to a point where I was like, oh man, I'm just going to do as many as I can. And I did like 5 levels, and then it was like, thanks for playing. And I'm like, no, I want more levels. It's that kind of game that's just so satisfying and beautifully done. They're really cheap on Steam. They're like $2.
I was
All of his
say
games
it's
are
£1
very well done.
on the British Google Play Store, and I just bought it. This
Awesome.
looks great.
Awesome. He did one called Hook, which is really cool, and he's got Hook 2 coming out, and the demo has like 6 levels on it, and I got through some of them, and I'm like, this looks cool once again, and then I reached one level where I'm like, wait a minute, what am I supposed to do here? This doesn't make sense. And then I figured out what it was, and it was one of those Portal moments where it's like, oh my god, the walls are melting, this is so cool, because he took it to that next level. And I don't want to say anything to spoil it, but Hook 2, if you play Hook, you'll enjoy it, and then when you play Hook 2, you'll be like, whoa, dude. So
I mean,
Left
this
Out.
game looks all right. Now I've got my head around what's actually going on.
Yes. Well, that's
Do you
the
know
way
what I mean?
his
'Cause you
games
sort of
work.
look at it, and I'm like, I have no idea what's happening, and now I sort of do.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that like once you figure out what you need to do, then it becomes, okay, now how am I going to actually do it? And at some points it gets pretty tricky because you have these, you'll end up with pieces that are like a Z, and you have to move the stuff out of the way so you can move it right, and then you have to move other stuff out of the way so you can put it down, and then it requires some creative noggin work. So yeah, Up Left Out, fun puzzle stuff, keep you busy for a few minutes.
I mean, I'm watching this dude here trying to get this final piece, and you can see him working it out and trying to move everything around.
Yep.
Because obviously some of them have longer lengths than others, so you've got to move them further to get to.
But he had it, and then he kept moving pieces. Stop moving.
Yeah, well, I
pieces.
thought that he
had
had the gap underneath it big enough, and then he moved again, didn't he?
Yeah. He's thinking he has to move it up, but he doesn't. He has to move it down. So
Down.
hoist with his own
See,
petard.
going
He snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. There you go.
Did. Well, yeah, interesting.
All right,
pretty
Antonio, do you have anything else?
I'm afraid that is it for me. Not too many video games on the docket right now. But yeah,
All right.
play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. That's the
There
whole
you
name.
go.
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
There you go.
Stu.
I haven't got anything else either because
Oh
I've been
my
working and
goodness.
stuff, and
Yeah.
I've been selling stuff. By the way, I never mentioned I've sold 5 video games this week.
Okay.
What did you sell? I will say I have a small story about selling games.
Ooh.
So
Yeah,
the
let's see if
smelly
you
shop,
can
CEX.
guess. No, I put them on eBay. I put
was
5
gonna say,
games on eBay.
I tried to, but in Scotland, you have to give a form for identification and also a bill of some kind or a bank statement. I was
wow.
like, and I said to sell a
strict.
Switch game. Yeah. So, okay, then I'll go and sell it online.
So see if you can guess how much I've got for each of these games. Right?
Okay.
Let's see if you can
On
guess.
eBay, you said, sorry.
These are on eBay. I did
Okay.
sell. I did sell my original DJ controller. That's gone.
Oh my
How did you feel
goodness.
about that? Seeing that that piece of history gone.
I'm all right with it. I've got two new
Okay.
ones now. I have a main
Okay.
one and a
The
sort
new
of
shiny
nice
thing
sports
is there, so
I've
the old
got-
thing doesn't
yeah,
matter.
Exactly. I'm not bothered about that
No.
shit. And I did all right. It's gone. I did a buy it now. It took 2 weeks to sell though. That's the only thing we buy it now. But
Okay.
obviously, I didn't want to put it on as an auction because no one's really auctioning them off. So there was no one looking, and obviously I wouldn't have got as much for it. I don't think if they tried to auction it, so I didn't bother. But games, let's just stick them on it. I'm a 99p person. I don't know about you guys, but I'll stick them on for the lowest to get some interest, and then hopefully they fly off at some point.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Now, one of these, I must admit, I was a little bit disappointed with. I was expecting a little bit more.
Mhm.
But yeah. So I'll go. These are the games I sold, and you see what you think. So I sold The Outer Worlds
Okay.
on PlayStation 4.
Either.
I also sold Control
Okay, we're going to. Okay, sorry.
on PS4.
Yeah.
Yakuza 6, A Song of Life, Essence of Art Edition.
Okay.
So that's one with a fancy art book and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Persona 5 Steelbook Edition
Oh, Antonio about that.
Okay.
and Death
Steelbook.
Stranding. Death Stranding
Okay.
was the
Okay.
last one.
Okay.
So, which one do you want to try and guess first? What are we going with?
I like to go in the order you said, really backwards. So start
Okay,
with
The Outer
Worlds.
Worlds.
Sorry,
Oh,
Worlds.
Outer
I always get them
Worlds.
mixed up.
I know, yeah, they sound the same.
My guess is a
Totally
fiver.
different. Fiver, Duke.
That's my guess.
What do you
I'm
think?
not playing this game. $10 each.
$10, £7.50. I was quite impressed.
Hey, all right.
£7.50. £4 at
Here you go,
CEX.
Duke.
So I've done all right
To speed it up, Duke, I won't think about it. I'll say a number straight away once
Yeah,
he
yeah,
says the
say
There
a
name.
you
number.
go. That's
Okay.
fine. Right.
Control.
Control.
Fiver.
7.
£3.20.
Oh my goodness.
Because there's a definitive edition now, probably.
Yeah, that's why.
£3.20. So that's all right. I mean, it was £1 at CEX. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, Essence of Art Edition.
10.
12.
£16.
Wow.
I
Somebody
was
wanted
like, that's
art.
pretty good. Yeah, I was
How much
like,
did you
that's
pay
pretty
for
good. It'd have been more than that. I bought it new. So
it? Well,
it's already been about probably 35, I guess.
yeah.
So it's only 50% off. It's not bad.
Did you ever beat it?
No, I got close and I
that's
got
a
bored.
Uh,
Nearly. I got
Got
close.
close.
got
Played
Good
it for
ending,
2 hours.
good
and it's
ending,
like,
good
I'm
ending.
done.
Yeah, I was just I'm bored now. Okay, Persona 5 Steelbook Edition. I had high hopes for this.
I think a fiver, but there's Persona Royale and it's also coming to Game Pass, so fiver.
8.
£10.50.
Wow.
I
I'm
was
not doing very well.
expecting more though, because people are selling these for like 20 quid plus on buy it now second hand.
Really?
Yeah, so I was expecting more
Good to
money. I
know.
was a
I've
bit,
still got mine up there, so I should sell it.
Yeah.
bit disappointed. And finally, Death Stranding was the final
2
game.
quid.
I honestly
Good
think,
work.
yeah, it's not. I think I'm gonna go free. I doubt it went for that much.
£4.20.
Wow. 420,
Well,
dude.
someone's just having a laugh.
420, dude.
I feel like I did all right, to be honest. More £7.50 for the Outer Worlds. I've always pretty good.
Yeah.
And the
Did you ever beat
16
Death Stranding? I'm curious. Did you ever beat Death
No,
Stranding?
did I?
Dude,
I
bollocks.
was
I was about to say.
like,
Did you ever beat any video games ever, Stu? I played
I've
it
not
for 2
beat-
hours.
I've
I got
beaten
bored. I
Control.
found
Out of
something
a-
that was shiny.
Weirdly.
The
Out
sun
of-
was reflecting off of a coin on the ground, so I got distracted by that.
Out of all of the games I've sold, there's only Control that I finished.
Yeah.
But you got
I
your
was
money's
they're
worth,
just
'cause you
gathering
had some
dust,
fun.
though. What's the point of keeping them? I might as well
Well,
have some
yeah.
cash.
Fair
You
enough.
know, and I've made what 10, 25. I've made about 40 quid on them.
All right. So Antonio, you said you had a story about selling games too.
Yeah, what's your story?
Oh no, I said it, which was so I went to go and sell a Switch game because I bought Switch Sports. I mentioned last week actually I bought Switch Sports. I wasn't a
Yeah.
massive fan of it, so I thought I'll go and flog it off since Switch games they hold their value pretty well. Went to the smelly shop, but in Scotland, so I guess I'm not going to do a Scottish accent. Walked in, said, "Do you mind if I sell this, mate?" He said, "Yeah, do you have any ID?" I said, "Sure." So I showed him my ID. He said, "Oh, I need a bank statement or like proof of
Oh right. Yeah.
So he said, like, "Can I have either a bank statement or like a telephone bill?" I was like, No.
Ridiculous.
This was in CEX. Normally, they just
CEX,
need
yeah,
your
so it's-
driving license or something, don't they, to prove who you are.
They wanted that and also a paper bill of some kind, so a bank statement or
Wow.
a telephone bill or an internet bill. I was like,
That's
just sell
crazy.
a Switch game.
Yeah,
So,
right.
I said, all right, I'll go and do it online where I don't need any of that then. All right,
Yeah,
cheers,
really.
man. And,
Yeah, that
it's
is
now
crazy.
gone. It's now
That's
gone.
crazy.
I was so caught off guard as well. Everything's different in Scotland. Everything's different in Scotland.
Yeah. Especially in
Everything is
North
different.
Kiltown. All right, I got one more game to talk about, and it is
Okay, go.
Farm Manager 2021.
Yes.
Though some people know that I tried Farm Simulator, and Farm Manager is more from a distance. Yeah, so it's like 3D isometric, and it's just like building, and it's just like, okay, it plops the building down. It's sort of a SimCity type of thing. And I had hoped that it would be less tedious than Farm Simulator. Nope. Because it starts out fine. It's like, okay, here's the pen where the animals will be. I'm like, okay, cool. It's like, click on it. I'm like, all right, I click on it. It's like, choose which animals you want. Let's buy 5 goats. I'm like, all right. So you click buy goat, buy goat, buy goat, buy goat, buy goat. All right, I got 5 goats. Yes. Now we need food for them. All right, go to the food section. I know how to do this. Okay, fine. Get the food. Okay, set it up. All right, now you're going to need to plant some crops. Make a plot for your crops. Let's do 5 by 5. I was like, all right, cool. So I dragged the thing, you make a little box. Okay, that's where the crops are going to go. Okay, now you need to choose which crops you're going to plant. Click on it. All right, choose corn. Yes, doing it. Awesome. There we go. All right, the corn's going to grow. Now I wrote down what it said because I couldn't believe it went from that to this. All right, now you need to buy a mower and a cultivator and a windrower and a fertilizer spreader and a self-loading trailer. How about I buy none of that and instead uninstall the game? You gotta be fucking shitting me. It went from choose corn or wheat to buy these 5 machines and prepare to use all of them. I'm like, no.
Well, how are you going to run a farm without the necessary machinery? What's the matter with you?
Well, that's why the Duchess does pretty well growing food without a
Yeah, but she's not running a
spreader.
bloody.
I know, but that's the kind of farm I want. I want a Stardew Valley style farm, not a Monsanto Uber monoculture death crop GMO farm.
Well, you know what, Duke? Play Stardew Valley instead.
I guess I should. This is why I keep going back to
guess
the
you
good
should.
games, because every time I try something new, it's like, well, this is a thing that's based on this other thing, so you don't know because you don't know the other
To
thing.
be fair, right, something called Farm Manager Simulator 2021.
It's not simulator. It's
whatever it is.
Farm Manager 2021. There's
Well,
nothing
it's a
simulator
farm
about
management
it.
simulator. It is a simulator. That's what it is.
Whatever. It doesn't need to be this complicated, man. It should be more fun and lighthearted.
People want when people see manager.
Oh
in
wait,
the title,
Fam
they want
Manager
it
is
to be
very different from
complicated.
Farm Manager. Fam Manager, that's the
Jesus.
Sims. Ah,
What are you like?
yeah. Anyway,
But yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me that
crap.
this would be
Nope. Crap.
complicated.
Crap. Complicated. Shouldn't be this
Wow.
complicated. Should be more fun, lighthearted, easy going.
Let me ask a question though.
Go
Let me ask
ahead.
a question.
Look, if I want to play Farm
Has he-
Simulator, I'll play Farm Simulator. There should be something that makes this stand out.
Has
i.e.
it got a cool action trailer that lasts 5 minutes
No,
before
it
you
does
start
not.
playing?
No, it does not. And that's something that, yeah, that was an amusing
You
thing
know what
about
I'm
the other one.
saying?
Yes. All right, so those are the games we've been playing. Thank you, everybody, for paying attention to all of that.
Yeah. indeed.
And
we're
now
taking
it's
notes
time
for the
for
quiz.
some news.
Yeah, we have got. There's quite a bit of news.
Putting news
yeah.
first.
So yeah, news this week, people. Let's start with the sad news. We'll start with some sad news this week, Duke. I'm afraid.
Go
Very
ahead.
sad news. Zachtronics has announced it's closing.
Really? I hadn't heard that. Why
Yeah.
are they closing?
Yeah, it's pretty sad. Pretty sad. I will tell you when the story's loaded. For some reason,
What
it's
did they
doing a-
develop while we're waiting? What did they develop?
Uh,
and publish?
Oh, they did.
Eliza.
Yeah, they
Which is
did.
great. They did Space Chem. Is it Space
yeah,
Chem?
Space Chem and oh, I can't remember the name of it. It's the one where the really cool arms and you move the little chemicals around. Hang on a second. I'll look it on my Steam. Hold on a second. I want to change the
Thank
title
you,
here
thank
on
you.
the stream. Gaming news. Yeah, you know, the game with the thing. I have it installed.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll
Yeah.
tell you what they
Opus
said. Well,
Magnum, Opus Magnum, Opus
Opus
Magnum.
Magnum,
One of the best
there you
puzzle
go.
games
Okay,
ever.
cool.
Yeah, they've done a
Yeah.
lot of good stuff. So why are they closing?
So anyway, they'll cease operations from around the end of 2022 after the release of the final 2 games they've made. So speaking to Kotaku, studio founder Zach Barth said that the team is wrapping things up after the release of the upcoming title Last Call BBS, due July 5th, and Solitaire Collection set to launch later this year. It says after that the team will disband. We have all have different ideas, interests, and tolerances for risk, and so it sounds like there was some differences going on.
Someone had sex with someone else's dog, and they have to resign in disgrace.
So we're still figuring out what we want to do next. It was founded in 2000. As you said, Space Cam and Eliza. It did close down once before in 2015. After which Barth went to work at Valve for 10 months, and the founder told Kotaku that it gave the company a chance to cash out some of its equity and re-engage with the industry, but said that this upcoming closure will be more permanent.
Interesting.
So he said, I'm not saying the same thing's going to happen here because we really are shutting down Zachtronics. But when you make these decisions for yourself deliberately instead of letting circumstances dictate them, it's easier to get the results you want in the long run.
Yeah, that's fair. And I mean, look, Zachtronics has always had a really good way of, and it was a rocky beginning. Space Cam is not a perfect game by any means, but they had a vision, you know what I mean? And they really carried that vision forward, especially Opus Magnum is their Opus Magnum. It's their best game because it's so refined. It's so polished. It feels so good. It's got this steampunk aesthetic. It's got this story that's pretty stupid, but it's got this awesome mini game called like Frothar's Garden, which is it's a lot of fun. I've actually been going back and playing that by itself, which I never did with Gwent or any of the card games with, Caravan and Fallout New Vegas or anything, but Frothar's Garden is fun. So
yeah, it is kind of sad. And Duke, as a tribute, I feel like you should play Eliza.
I will one of these days. The Steam sale's on right now, by the way. Anybody bought anything?
Have a look. It might be cheap. It might be really cheap.
It might be. Yeah. It's it's going on until the 7th.
So
that's the thing. I remember, and I'm not saying this was better necessarily, but it was different when Steam had different deals each day during the summer sale because it was like they got me coming back and it got me excited. I'm like, what's today's deal? Now it's just like
because
the sale begins and it's like, here's all the stuff. You look at your wish list and you're like, I might get that.
Exactly.
Remind me a day before it stops being a sale.
There used to be like a small thrill to it for me with checking every day, but now, when I look at the big list, I go. Because there's a little thing that says like the Far Cry series, the Bethesda franchise. I look through it and there's nothing ever new. I go through it and go,
Don't you want to get that game you've thought about having for a while?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But they have a meta game. There's something about like, I'm from the future. Help me with this thing. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't even know what you want me to do. I can't tell. I'd rather be playing an actual video game than your like meta game.
I'm with you two guys. I liked it with the daily deals where they'd really reduce something to next to nothing.
Yeah.
And they go, here, have this one for £2. Yay.
Well, that's the thing, because at this point, if you haven't bought a game that you saw on 75%, you'll never buy it because it's never going below that,
Exactly.
Ever. Unless the game gets a remake and then that one gets like 90% discounted. Like I did that. I had that with BioShock. I saw that remake thing for £8 for years. I was like, I'll wait, I'll wait, and then I just gave up one day. Looking at it now, it's still £8. So I made
and
the
then
right
eventually
choice.
It just came out on Game Pass anyway, because that's what normally happens.
So, all right, next news item.
Sorry, there is more news. Bungie are suing the perpetrator behind fake Destiny 2 DMCA takedowns for $7.7 million.
I'm sorry. I know some of those words, but that made no sense to me. What are you talking about?
So basically, this is going back probably about a month or two ago.
Okay.
And someone was pretending to be Bungie.
Okay.
Telling people to remove their videos from YouTube because they were breaking their copyright issues and stuff.
Gotcha.
But what eventually happened is they made Bungie take down some of their own videos pretending to be Bungie.
Gotcha.
And Bungie weren't very happy about this, and it took them a bit to actually identify the person responsible for this.
Okay.
And it turns out it's a guy called Nicholas Miner, aka Lord Nazo, who was a streamer himself, and Bungie took 2 of his videos down for some reason or other. For something. And
so he wanted to get revenge.
He wasn't happy with what they did. So to get revenge, he did this. It does seem to have backfired slightly because they want damages of $150,000 for each of the works implicated in the fraudulent takedown notice, which totals $7,650,000.
Good grief. See, that's the thing. I mean, look, couldn't he say that they owe him money for taking down his video that was going to get him thousands of dollars? Like, this idea of like lost revenue is always struck me as bizarre. Like, you cost me all this money I would have made. How do you know you would have made that money? You don't know that.
But anyway, he's in trouble. I mean, this dude's in trouble because, you know, they will have some big lawyers on their side.
Well, of course.
And this is just some streamer dude who's probably going to be bankrupt for the rest of his life.
I was going to say, you do raise a good point there, Jake, but it'd be literally like The Simpsons where Homer says he's going to take Mr. Burns to court, and then Mr. Burns pulls out those massive, like the 10 lawyers, and he starts screaming and runs away. It's going to be that every time.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
That's the way a lot of these lawsuits end up. Is like, I mean, you know, occasionally the little guy can win one, but yeah, no doubt, it's the law becomes a matter of who has more and better lawyers.
Unfortunately, what this dude did was malicious. So,
oh, sure, I'm not denying that.
He's in the wrong anyway. He's already in the wrong.
Of course, he was committing fraud. Like, there's no question about that.
Yeah, this dude's in the wrong. He's stupid. The guy's an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to know more about why they took his videos down, because that, you know, I mean, I don't necessarily, it doesn't justify what he did.
It was only 2, by the way. They took 2 of his videos down.
Right, and it seems like a little bit of an overreaction. 2 of your video. I mean, make more videos, dude. Like, you know, dude, it seems like an easier response.
Games to cover.
But it's easy for me to say. And maybe he was getting paid off of those videos. I don't know. Maybe they were really cool videos, or maybe it was a video where he had done something that, you know, if I got a video of, you know, me getting to champ for the first time, that would be a hell of a video. I would want to make sure I had that. And if Psyonix just said, "Oh, that video's gone," I would probably be pretty upset. Yeah, but it probably wasn't that momentous. I don't know.
No, it probably wasn't. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, he's an idiot, and he's probably going to be sorry about what he did for a long time, because let's be honest, he's not going to win. Okay. Xbox Series XS outselling PS5 in Japan as Sony is hammered by supply issues.
Japan!
So Xbox has got their shit together and are making enough of these consoles now to keep supply going. Sony's still struggling, aren't they? I mean, I see the deals come up for Sony PS5s a few and far between when these things are in stock still.
Yeah.
I mean, when did this release? Was it 2019? Was it 2019?
What, the new consoles?
Yeah, when did they release?
Yeah, late 2019, late November 2019.
Nearly 3 years, and you're still struggling to get one is ridiculous, isn't it?
That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go through what I did to get the PS5 ever again. Yeah, because me and my missus both had to like go through Discord servers and all that crap just to get one, and I barely touched the bastard. But yeah.
Yeah, it does seem that the Series S, you know, and a lot of people not ridiculed it, but was like, it's not very powerful, it's not really next gen, and all this, that, and the other. But they're managing to make loads of those, and because of the price point, people are just buying them. I mean, I've got one, and I think it's fine. I like it. Mm-hmm. You know, if you just want a Game Pass player, it is perfect for that. Yeah. You know what I mean? You just plug it in. It's small. It goes almost anywhere. It's quiet, and it plays pretty well. I mean, games look decent on it. You know what I mean? You will notice.
Put that on the box. Games look decent on this.
Games look fucking decent. But yeah, I think people just can't be bothered waiting anymore for a PS5. And I'll be honest with you, I just don't think it's a value proposition yet. You know, I know they've done this, you know, their version of Game Pass and everything now with PS Plus and all that.
I was going to ask, is that in the news? Have you put that in the news at all?
PS Plus. Yeah, we talked about it either last week or the week before, didn't we?
It's now out in the UK because it was out in different territories, but now it's out in Europe.
Out in the wild. It is out in the wild.
I do have it.
You have it?
I do have it.
Which tier did you go for?
Well, the thing is, the reason we have it is because I got PS Plus for our PS5 for like £20, and then PS Now was the same for £20 a year. So I thought I'll give it a go. Didn't touch PS Now once. There was next to no games I gave a damn about.
Yeah.
And booting this up for the first time, there are some things that are great. So I'm in the top tier, premium, I think it's called, whatever. The only real difference is between premium and extra is that with premium you get access to classic games. So PS1, PSP, PS2. The emulation is terrible. I will say that because without going too nerdy, it's using PAL. versions of games.
Oh wow.
So they run at very slow frame rates to simplify it. That's why, like, I have a good PS1 collection. I'll never play it again because they all run like trash. And there's also game trials. So if you wanted to, you could try out Horizon Forbidden West or whatever.
Okay.
Can't lie, the extra tier, which is like the middle tier, is not bad. I've been downloading PS5 games from there. I downloaded Ghost of Tsushima, the PS5 edition. Really looking forward to playing that. Like, I own one physical game for the PS5, and that's the game it came with. But the extra tier is actually proper good. Is it worth the money? I don't know. Am I a big fan of the fact that you can't stack memberships anymore?
Yeah.
Don't like that at all. So, like, what I'm saying is my Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, I stacked it for 3 years because I wanted to get a deal. I can't do that with the PS Plus. I have to get it through their service.
Right.
So I probably won't buy it again. But it's not bad. It is not bad. I cannot lie. It is not bad. You do get a good library of games. Like, I was scrolling through and I was seeing quite a few games where I thought, yeah, I'll download that.
You know what, though? I half agree with you because how much are you paying monthly or did you get a yearly deal? Because you get it obviously a lot cheaper.
So I've got it until November because my PS Now and PS Plus got bundled together, but I won't be renewing it because I don't pay Game Pass
because it's
monthly.
about £15 a month, isn't it?
So the extra tier I believe is the same as Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah.
I believe,
well, no, but Game Pass Ultimate is $11.99 a month. Yeah, $11.99 a month.
I wouldn't know.
I think
like
it's
I said,
more
I
expensive
pay it
than that. I think that the sort of biggest tier is really expensive. I think it's about £15 a month if you pay it.
I would have a
You're
look
talking
for
about
everybody.
like $2 or $3 difference. That's not a huge
it is. It's definitely more expensive.
But it will add up over time, though.
Than Game
It will add
Pass.
up over time.
Fine. I'm not.
But that being said, I still think I haven't bought a physical. In fact, I can't remember the last time I bought a physical disc game because I only ever bought them for the PS4, and I haven't bought one for ages.
Yeah.
So
without being boring, PS Plus Essential is £7, Extra is £11, Premium is £13.50. That's if you pay for 1 month. But
I knew it was more expensive a month. But I thought it was more than that. Maybe they've dropped it slightly from when they originally announced it. I don't know.
Or maybe you remember wrong.
Yeah, or maybe I remember wrong because I am old. Yeah, just saying. But yeah, I still think, I'll be honest, I still think that Xbox is still a better deal, even though
100%. I think it is a better deal.
Few PS5 exclusives on there, and I'll tell you for why, right? And I'll give you with the next news story, because A Plague Tale Requiem has been confirmed for the October 18th release date, straight on Game Pass day one.
It's going to be good.
You know, that's a massive game. I mean, I know there's not a lot of first-party titles coming to Game Pass, and Xbox don't seem to make that many of those anymore. But they seem to be just getting exclusives elsewhere, don't they? I mean, this is great to have day one.
It's because Microsoft has got fuck you money. They're throwing the money out there.
They are doing.
That is how they're doing it. Like, so Sony is producing games, and Microsoft are just spending money. And I don't care. I get more games to play. I'll never play them, but I'm happy that they're there.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, can I just also say I've at home through the console used cloud gaming quite a lot, but I can't be asked downloading stuff because you only get a pretty small hard drive on the S. It's not a massive hard drive. It's worked almost flawlessly. I've had no stutters, issues, nothing. It is almost like I'm playing it direct from the disk drive without any issues at all.
That is one of the benefits of the premium tier, by the way, with this PS Plus malarkey, is you get cloud streaming as well. Haven't tried it yet, doesn't interest me.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, just what I'd say.
And it works. I mean, nearly every game that comes out now is cloud streaming enabled. And it does go, you can download it if you like. And I'm like, nah, it's fine.
It's the future, man. As much as
it is. I mean, I played Sniper Elite 5, no problems. No issues at all. Looked fine. Played well. No lag. No stutters. It's absolutely fine. I do think it depends on your internet connection and how good that is. Obviously. But but it's pretty good. Pretty good. Final news story, unless anyone's got anything else tonight, is I mean, I shed a tear for this dude, gotta say.
Okay.
Shed a tear. Because EA's CEO salary dropped to $19.9 million.
Oh my God! I assume he filed for food stamps. Like he's living in a shelter.
Bleed.
Yeah. Oh man.
But it's a bit of a trick. So there's a bit of a trick going on here. So he saw a 40% decline, right, in his salary, but then received $30 million worth of stock bonus.
Of course, golden parachute, baby.
Of course he did. Of course he did. So, I'll take a bit of a drop in the old salary and just get more stocks worth even more than my last year's salary instead.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is his salary last year was 39.2 million.
Aha.
Okay.
How does he even survive on that?
I know. Then he was awarded a sizable stock grant of 30 million for the same period.
Yeah.
And then he's getting another 30 million this year, plus his 19.9 million. Oh my God. And this Bobby Kotick, over at Activision there.
Yes.
His is 154.6 million compensation package for the fiscal year.
It's almost as though we have this ridiculous inflated executive pay system in the United States, and we need to have a maximum wage in order to prevent kids from having to live in squalor in ghettos and barrios and reservations.
It's not just an American thing, Duke. It's an everywhere thing. In this,
yeah, but if you look at the average CEO compared to the average worker in the United States, it's around 300 times. When you look at the average CEO versus the average worker in the UK, it's probably around 20 times different. You look at it in Japan, it's like 10 times different. But there's a magnitude that's, the billionaires in the US are just out of control. So.
Oh yeah, it is, and it's almost like as well when they give the and we also gave him a 6 million incentive bonus to do better this year.
Right, and meanwhile, the people who are working crunch on these games that are actually building the games are having to work, hundreds and hundreds of hours of unpaid overtime, and then just told, "Suck it up. This is the way it works in the industry." Well, the CEO don't have to do that.
Yeah, which is similar, to be fair. At the moment, there's lots of strikes going on in the UK. Everyone's striking.
Yeah, and there's organizing going on in the US. Amazon's finally getting their act together.
But one of those is the rail system.
Yeah.
But the big bods at the rail have something like, I don't know, £400,000 bonuses and stuff. These guys make so much money at the top, and the people below them just on, whatever. They don't.
Yeah, that's why strikes are necessary, so that they can equalize that a little bit. Lisa, you don't go on strike if you don't like your job. You just go in every day and do it really half-assed. That's the American way.
So I feel so sorry for Andrew Wilson. I hope you can manage for the next year on your 19.9 million.
Eat the rich.
Yeah, what a shame.
Yeah.
What an absolute shame.
Right.
Well, yeah, we live in a funny old world, I think, sometimes.
That's one way to think about it.
Yeah, we do. I missed an email from last week, so I do have to give apologies, really. It was a bit of a weird show.
Whoa, that ruled.
But yes, well, we've got two, actually. I missed two of them, so sorry. The first one is off Nigel Strutt, the Struttmeister.
Struttmeister?
He says, after our Patreon pod, which really wasn't, it was just me and Chinny just chatting for some weird reason.
Yeah.
Chinny seemed to think it was a good idea. He says, this, gents, it's a nice thought for you to do an after hours pod, but for me, you really don't have to. That's probably a nice way of saying it was a bit shit.
Yeah.
It's one more thing in your busy lives which you could do without. Always happy to listen to you both witter on about absolute bollocks, which is pretty much what we were doing. But it really isn't necessary. I would prefer a black t-shirt with a white design with your logo saying something like, my dad says these blokes are good. But that's not catchy. And so I'll go with whatever you guys thinks is appropriate. I'm happy to appear on 650. Amazing achievement. Well done and thank you. But all I do is play Warzone and I'm absolutely shit at it. So probably best if you leave me in the wings for an event such as Armageddon when everything else has absolutely failed. You three are legends and the mainstay of my week. Keep doing whatever you do and all stay safe. Thank you again for all you do, Struttmeister. So apologies. This should have been read out last week.
Yeah, sorry, Strut. But we appreciate you. Yeah.
But we do appreciate everything you do. So apologies. The next one is off Greasy Fish Lips, and he says, thank you. He says, hello, Duke, Chinny, and Stu. I just wanted to drop you an email to thank you all for your hard work and years of podcasting.
Yeah.
I've been a long time listener, but this is the first time I've ever contacted the show.
Really? I feel like he
cheers,
was in
and may
touch.
you all continue for many years to come. Everyone wants us to keep going on. Much love, Marty, aka Greasy Fish Lips. Thank you, Marty. And again,
Yay,
I
Marty.
apologize.
Thank
I
you.
should have read that out last week.
Yeah. Shame on you, Stu.
I know I'm shit.
Yeah, it's
I
okay.
accept that I'm a terrible person.
We still love you, man. Everybody makes mistakes.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't do it on purpose.
Of course not.
You know what I mean? It just happened.
Yeah, thanks, Marty. We appreciate you being in touch.
There you go. Yeah, that's
Any
it for
other
emails.
emails?
That was it. They were very quick.
Okay.
No, they were just those quick. I have actually I'm just looking because I've just thought I'll just check the spam folder.
Just look. Oh,
just have a quick look, and I have literally just found one that
Oh, my
came
goodness.
on the 23rd of June. So you've got to watch these things because they just
guess
keep
so.
going into spam for some reason.
sounds like your
sure
spam
why.
filter's not very well done.
No, well, it does. Oh my god, this is enormous. I said with no more emails to go on, that's fucking enormous. Anyway, this is off. Smudgy, beep, beep, whatever. Anyway,
What up,
I
Smudge?
don't know how you said it. Smundy peeps.
It's time to start reading the email. We can come back to
I
the
don't know
name
how
later.
to pronounce his name. He says this,
Right.
dear veteran gamers.
Okay.
As you have recently been heard to bemoan the shortage of emails to your show, I thought you might appreciate hearing from a very occasional emailer, your
Yeah.
old pal, Smundy Peeps. I
All
don't even know how I'm
right,
supposed to say
Smundy
that.
Peeps.
Smundy Peeps. Firstly, it's always fun to see whether Stu will be able to correctly pronounce my Xbox username.
Nope,
I guess
definitely not.
that's a no. What do you think it is? Right, I'll spell it right.
I was going to say, you
guys
spell
turn
it, we'll say it.
I'll spell it. You see how it's spelled. SMUNDYPPS.
Smundy Peeps. Yeah, I would say Smundy Peeps or Smundy Pips
Or Smundips.
or Smundips.
Smundips. Oh, it could be
Yeah.
Smundips.
That's my guess. Smundips. That's my guess. Smundips.
Smundips.
Yeah.
I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah.
But I know I can't pronounce it. You
Hey,
know I
Duchess,
can't
here.
pronounce
Say,
it.
how do you say this name? Just say it in the mic. She's just staring at it. This is audio. We need to hear things.
Yeah, there
say
you
it or
go.
don't.
We need to hear it. What is it?
Smundips. There you go. That's how you say
Smundips.
it.
Oh, they're
Smundips.
going with
Thank
you. It's Smundips. We'll go with
All right.
Smundips.
High five.
Thank you.
We're doing Smundips.
Right.
He says I do get it right about 50% of the time. I'm sure that I
Okay.
can't be right because I don't think I
Well,
get it right any of the time.
How about this? If you have a strange name, provide a phonetic pronunciation. That's what I do for my students on the first day
Yeah,
of classes.
exactly.
P.O. Trousky.
I'm-
GH space.
I must admit, there have been many times when I have regretted choosing that name, but I selected it in a moment of madness after playing too much Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
Yeah, there's no
I am-
such thing as too much Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
And I am too tight-fisted to pay to change it.
Nice.
You do get to
You're
change your username once, by the way, for free.
Well, wait a minute. What was it in
Well, on
Oblivion?
Xbox or-
Where's Smundips in Oblivion? I don't remember Smundips.
No,
in
you
Oblivion.
try and see if you can figure it out. At least you only have to try and pronounce it once a year or so. It is true. It is true. Anyway, I've just been weaning myself off a marathon stint of playing State of Decay 2. And whilst I ideally wish to crack on with some other quality games, I am finding it hard to switch off the urge to return and start up another survivor colony to nurture and expand.
Yeah.
I, enjoyed
I
that
was
game, yeah.
wondering
I heard
if
good
each of
things.
you experienced this same problem with disengaging from a game that you were totally wrapped up in. I don't mean pick up and put down games such as Rocket League, but single player ones that you just can't continue with ad infinitum. I guess you need to find a way to cleanse my gaming palate, as it were, so perhaps you can offer some tips.
Skyrim.
I don't know what it is.
You mentioned Elder Scrolls.
know.
There you go. You got it right there.
Yeah, yours is always going to be. Yeah, I don't know. What about you? Is there any single player games for you, Antonio, where you sort of you can't stop playing it?
Guitar.
I'm pretty good at like stepping away if I need to. I'm trying to think, of what I've got the most hours into. No, like I hit a wall or like I stop eventually. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I had that. Like there are periods for sure where like it's all on my mind. Like Beat Saber, when I first got that, it's all I played for months on end until my body literally broke and said no.
Yeah.
Anything else?
You see, I think it's interesting what he says because it's obviously not story-driven games. He's talking about games that are single-player, but you can just play forever. You know what I mean? There's no real end.
So some people have like a knack for those kind of games. I'm kind of the opposite. I like an ending. So like State of Decay 2, I love State of Decay 2. Like it's not groundbreaking, but I really enjoy it. But once I got to the story end, that's it. Like I played Yakuza 7 recently and I told you about it. And there's still things from the open world for me to do. But as soon as the story's over, I have less motivation to do it. I don't know why, but I just do. I don't know why.
No, I mean, I feel like that's the trick with open world games is that if there's no story, then it feels meandering and pointless. But if there is a story, then that's the thing that's pulling you through. And once that's gone, then it's like, okay, you can do this other stuff, but it's obviously not as important. And so it feels less urgent. You know, it's like in Batman, like when I find the Arkham Knight and take him down, you know, there might still be firefighters out there, but I'm not going to go find firefighters. Like they'll be fine. There are people coming back into the city now. They can find the firefighters.
This might sound strange, but even if I adore the game, like Batman Arkham Knight is a great example. I did nearly everything you could do in that game.
Yeah.
The end point for me is normally a secret ending, a platinum trophy or 1000G, or I've done everything that's more man-made. So like a good example is Marvel Spider-Man. You're swinging around and there are a certain amount of crimes you can stop.
Yeah.
But they will infinitely respawn once you've done them all.
Yeah.
Once I've done them all, like the checklist of them, never again. I've done them. Yeah, I've done them as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So those are my 3 parameters of like when I will stop. That and of course the main story's over.
Yeah. Well, that's and you know, in Skyrim there are the Radiant quests where you know Dark Brotherhood will be like, go kill this guy, and it's randomized. So what you said about human made, like if it has to be something that a person sculpted or crafted, you know what I mean?
There's a bit
and
of
the same thing with No Man's Sky. It'll tell you like, go kill 10 pirates. I'm like, no, I'm not just gonna go kill 10 random pilots. But if you tell me there's a pirate who's menacing this system and his name is Greblar, I'm gonna go get Greblar. That guy's gotta get taken out. Like, why does it?
I remember feeling that for the first time ever with the Minutemen missions in Fallout 4. I did like a few in a row. I was like, this is not changing.
More people need our help. Oh, fuck them.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hate that shit. I mean, I haven't got a game like that because I just don't play games like that.
Yeah.
If that makes sort of sense.
Yeah.
So
it makes total sense. But people are wired differently. Like I said, some people adore the fact that you can restart and start fresh. Like I think Rust like remove the servers weekly or something.
Oh
like
yeah. Well, they wipe them regularly. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And some people love that. Well, meanwhile, I did get really pissed off. Like me and you built a house, I remember, and then it was gone a few days later.
Right.
My work is gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Apart from one screenshot we took.
Right.
Yeah. So that kind of thing pisses me personally off. But for some people, they adore it.
And that's because, in some cases, the fun is starting over, you know? Like one of my favorite things in the world is starting fresh on a clean Minecraft server. I'm like, I can make anything I want. And then you get set up. Like I'm set up on one now. I'm doing the roller coaster. And I'm just like, I can make anything I want. I don't really feel like making anything. What I want to make is a base so that I can make anything I want. But it's, I want to put up a canvas and look at the blank canvas and think of all the possibilities, but not actually paint anything. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Does that ever happen when you're writing? I must ask you, does that ever happen when you're writing?
No, it doesn't. When I'm writing, like there's a sense in which the story and the people in it are so compelling that I'm just like, yes, I will keep going with this. And I think there's a lot of ego involved in that. You know what I mean? Like there are good stories in video games, but generally speaking, I don't get caught up in them the same way because I'm not responsible for them. as ridiculous as that may sound, it really is a lot about like, this is the best story ever because I came up with it. So, but it does drag sometimes. The book I'm writing now is one that I've been working on for like 3 years, and I've reached a point where I'm just like, I'm ready to be done with this, so I am committing to finishing it this summer. And like, I've spent so much time with the characters, and I'm like, all right, I like these people, and I just this week figured out how I'm going to finish it, so I'm very happy about that. But I'm definitely like, I've hit the wall this summer. I'm like, okay, can we just get done with it? So
if it means anything, I had the exact same with my 2.5 hour COD video. About a half an hour in, I saw the magnitude of what I was going to make. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do this.
Right. But it's a good feeling when you push through that and you finish the thing and you and then you have it and you can show it to people and be like, look at this thing I did. And there's a sense of satisfaction that comes with that. That's very important. So.
And maybe that's what people like when the servers get wiped and you start again.
Maybe. I just think they like trolling the noobs and shooting naked people running past their base. I think that's really what people like in Rust.
Sorry, I interrupted.
Maybe
you.
that's what happened with the Double D's when they were making Game of Thrones towards the end. They were just like, just want to get this thing done
Yeah,
now.
maybe. Could
That's
be.
why it was so shit. So he says, on a separate but not entirely disconnected note, having never played any of the Mass Effect games, I finally relented after having endured weeks of Stu and Ginny related propaganda. So having recently taken advantage of the old buy 3 years of Xbox Gold membership, then convert to 3 years of Game Pass Ultimate for £1 routine, I installed all 3 games at no further cost to myself and settled down to enjoy. Or not, as the case turned out to be. Shit. How could he? Now, I really am a veteran gamer, being nearly 60, and perhaps my tolerance of ropey old repetitive plots set in a not-too-distant future is not what it used to be, but I'm very quickly bored of this game. Shepard is dull. Now
Wow.
then, I need to ask, is he playing male Shepard or femme Shepard? Because femme Shepard is infinitely better than male Shepard.
Well, I agree with that.
Let's be honest. So I think the male Shepard is quite dull, to be fair.
For me, though, I always saw Shepard as a blank canvas that you can somewhat.
Yeah,
pick
you
how
are
they're
Shepard.
gonna
That
act.
means you're dumb, boring.
Yeah, you're dumb and boring. It's not the game's fault. The choice of answers system is dull. The combat mechanics feel clanky and dull. The seemingly pointless squad system is dull. Although, in all fairness, I never enjoyed single player games that include squad mechanics. Well, you don't, to be fair, as long as you level them up, they kind of just do their own thing, don't they? You don't really have to do a lot with them.
Yeah,
they're just
true.
they're just there to chitter chatter to you as you're walking through stuff.
And possibly shag later.
And possibly get off with. Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing you do. You just get fully clothed in the shower and just rub yourself against them, from what I can remember. And after being introduced to an alien that appeared to have strayed from the Halo franchise and brought along with him a plot about an ancient race that left mysterious and powerful artifacts just for good measure, I started losing the will to live and quit.
Oh, man.
I'll be honest, I think the story of Mass Effect is great. You know what I mean? How everything fits together, especially as you go through it.
No, I agree. I think it is a great story.
I mean, look, Duke is the biggest critic of video game stories here.
Yeah.
But maybe our friend here just has watched or played so many science fiction things. He's just
I wouldn't say that the story in Mass Effect is necessarily very original. I mean, the basic story, there's this alien species going to wipe out all humanity. Okay, that's not blindingly all creation. Sorry, all life, not just humanity. But it's. I think that what makes Mass Effect stand out for me is that it's the methods of storytelling, it's the characters, it's the adventures that you go on. And if the person isn't feeling them, okay, that's fine. Not everybody has to love what I love.
Okay. Oh, it gets worse, Duke. It gets worse. I've just read on a bit.
It's interesting, though. I'm personally really enjoying hearing someone else's side of it, because I haven't heard this before, really.
Yeah.
I like hearing people be wrong.
Not even the promise of a fully clothed sex scene in a shower in part 3 could persuade me to carry on. I guess you had to have played this game first time around to really appreciate how groundbreaking and awesome it allegedly once was. Wow.
Damn, that's some hardcore hate.
Wowzers.
You are not liking this game, huh?
At the risk of blaspheming in front of Duke, I should also mention that I recently installed Myst.
Oh, you gotta be careful. Well, okay, I'll wait. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh my god. Having heard so much about it over the years, but never actually having played it, guess what? I found that even more tedious and annoying. Perhaps the moral is that one should never try to experience the past in the first time.
Well, okay, right. Here's the thing. Look, I mean, it makes more sense to be mad at Myst than it does Mass Effect, to be honest. Because Myst was a product of its time. Like, Myst was a game that came about... the question is, which version did you play? Because if you play the OG or, some remake that is frame by frame, like, of course that's going to be terrible to you today. Like, that's just a mechanic that... It's ancient. Like, that's not how a game should be played. And even if you play one of the remakes where you get to walk around the island, like, it's still, I think it holds up for those of us who loved it back in the day. But, if a kid came up today and went to Pac-Man and was like, what the fuck is this? I wouldn't blame him. You know what I mean? Pac-Man is not really an elegant game. It was a great game when it existed because it had to. We didn't have anything better, but we have things that are better now. So I understand why this person didn't get into Myst. they're wrong, but I don't blame them.
They're
Myst
also
is on
wrong
Game
about Mass
Pass.
Effect, just saying.
Myst is on Game Pass. More than likely, that's what you played if you played Mass
Yeah,
Effect on
well,
Game
then.
Pass.
Yeah,
Because I've
yeah.
played the remake of Myst on Game Pass, and it is
Yeah.
different in quite a few ways.
Yeah.
Well, I'm nearly done. So to switch to a more frivolous tone, I noticed that you don't appear to have had one of your occasional cheese-themed discussions recently.
Cheese.
So I was wondering, it's cheese-themed
I
apparently.
don't
So
remember
was
ever having a
wondering whether you
discussion
might
about cheese.
whether you might consider a new feature where you take it in turns to introduce the other two to a favored cheese
No.
and perhaps encourage them to sample it in order to rate it on the
not
next
happening.
episode. I don't.
Nope.
See, I
I
don't
am
know
never
how this
trying
is
another
possible.
cheese again
Changing
after I had
from
some of the
veteran to
Duchess's
mature
Limburger.
gamers.
What the hell?
Yeah, eat my cheese, bitch. There you go.
So what is Limburger?
Oh my god, it is the worst cheese ever. Everyone always makes fun of how bad it smells, and I was like, all right, I have to know. Like, yeah, it smells bad, but I just want to taste it. The taste was like 16 bags of diarrhea in my mouth. It was so
nice.
horrible. And I was like, I was looking at the Duchess, what are you doing? You bought this? And she had had it before, and I'm like, oh my god. It was so repulsive. I was like,
I reckon
couldn't
I'd
look at
like
it for a
that
day.
cheese.
Well, maybe you would, but
Same.
you know what? You're a psychopath if
would.
you like that shit. It's
I like
disgusting.
blue cheese. Smellier the better.
Blue cheese is fine.
Yeah.
I like blue cheese too. This is
Well, what's the difference between that and blue cheese then?
well, blue cheese doesn't taste like diarrhea in a bag. This
No, it
cheese
doesn't, I
does.
guess.
Anyway, I'm not interested in trying new cheeses. Thank you. I like Munster. I'll eat Munster.
Okay.
Yes.
I personally like a bit of Garstang Blue is my
Great.
favorite cheese,
Okay.
which is kind of like a bit like a Stilton, but it's a red cheese with veins in. So it's kind of a blue cheese, but a sort of orangey, yellowy in color, I guess,
Yeah.
rather than a white cheese with veins. Very nice though. Very creamy. It's a creamy blue cheese. It's lovely. But in the interest of try again. In the interest of inclusivity, you could perhaps feature a vegan version of Nominate No. Every third show. Who wants vegan cheese? Like cheese has to be made with milk.
Right. Look, there's very good meat substitutes out there. I love Morningstar Farms. Impossible's doing good work with fake meats. Vegan cheese has always been terrible, and I don't believe it ever will be better. So I think I agree with you on that. We should just make it dead.
Yeah,
I've yet to try
Sorry.
it. I have protein cheese. Like to answer my question, like what do I think of cheese? I happily will eat it if it's in front of me. I don't buy it, but I do make my own pizzas, and when I do, I have like the special protein cheese.
Okay.
And it's not bad. It's not bad. Out of curiosity, Jake, when you say meat substitutes, what have you tried? Because I've tried a good variety, and for me, a good variety of them are more commonly foods that you'd see and be like, yeah, it's not proper meat anyway. So, like, for example, sausages. My partner loves vegetarian sausages, but it's still salty as heck. you know?
Yeah, absolutely. You're eating the salt, no doubt. Fake bacon, same thing. There's a joke early in Breaking Bad where they're like, vegan bacon, am I right? I'm like, shut up. It's fine. When we were in the UK, we went to a pub and the Duchess ordered some vegan fish and chips, and I actually was like, oh, this is gonna be nasty because all the fake fish I ever had was atrocious, but it was actually very good. And I was like, why don't we have this in the States? Impossible makes some good burgers and chicken burger. And again, like these aren't like proper, like they don't have a good vegan steak. Like I would like to have a vegetarian steak, but they haven't got that. You know, someone's working on it. I hope.
Someone's probably growing one as we speak in a lab
hope
somewhere.
so. I would love to have that.
I've seen vegan chicken on the shelves in stores, but it's just too expensive. But I do hope it becomes more and more of a thing because I do want to. Like I've stopped drinking milk, for example. I drink soya now, just because it does better in my body. You know, so I do hope that this fake meat thing does become.
Do you want to hear an interesting fact?
I guess we're going to, if we want to or not. Go
ahead. Basically, drinking milk is one of the last things that humans evolved to do.
Yeah, I learned that from Snatch.
Okay. Yeah, because basically
God,
we
Tommy,
weren't made to tolerate milk from other animals apart from our own.
Yeah.
So we had to evolve we had to make enzymes that would allow us to break down cow's milk. And that's why some people are lactose intolerant because they haven't got the right enzymes to break it down properly.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Lactose intolerant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, to keep it relevant, the selected cheese would have to be featured in a video game.
What games have cheese in them?
Which,
other than Skyrim, Skyrim you got all kinds of cheese. You got goat milk cheese. You got there's a bunch of cheeses in Skyrim.
You knew what were coming, which, bearing in mind, there are several types of cheese featured in Skyrim alone.
Hey.
Shouldn't be difficult as it first sounds. You could perhaps call the feature carefully choosing a choice cheese with Chinny and chums, or maybe just rate my cheese, bitch.
I like the titles, but it's not happening. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
On that admittedly lengthy
Oh my
note,
God,
I shall
the
bid you-
email just keeps going.
I know. A fond farewell for another year or so.
All right.
Should just belatedly congratulate you on your recent 650th edition. And perhaps I can get in the early and be first to congratulate on your 700th edition.
Yeah.
As I usually miss these landmark events.
We made it to 700. Woohoo!
I know, yeah.
Celebrating
Keep
a little
calm and
early.
carry
that's
on.
okay.
Follow that camel.
Follow that camel.
Smundips. We're going to go Smundips.
Okay, thank you,
John
Smundips.
Chubbles. So thank you, Smundips.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. I think
Thank
that
you.
sounds right. No, I can't even say it now.
Uh-huh.
Smundips. So we'll go with that. I think that's it. I'm just having a very quick scan down the rest of the spam, and I'm reckoning most of it is actually spam.
Well, I would imagine so.
Yeah, not always, as we know. We've had a
Not
few
always.
that have ended up in spam.
But maybe you could
And
do
we
this
call that
before the
not
show.
Spam.
Yeah. I don't
get
like
some
spam!
I get some that just come through.
It's time for a shout out. Hey!
All right, let's do some shout
And it
outs.
says, can I just say, it says, this email is potentially dangerous. Don't click on any links in this email. But it still comes in my normal inbox, so who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? As the guest is the guest, we'll have Antonio
Yeah.
go first.
I'll
Take it
shout
away.
out Susan again since I noticed on Twitter she's been waiting for Glastonbury and I'm hopefully she's had a wonderful time. since
She's
it
had
ends
great time.
tonight.
I've had regular updates on WhatsApp, can I say? And she's
Cool,
been living it live. She's
Good
been
to
loving it. Yeah.
Good to hear. And also, Mike, are we having a good time? And was it Greece? Was he at? Or Spain? Spain.
No,
Spain.
he's in Gran
Gran
Canaria,
Canaria.
I think.
No,
Yeah.
close enough. Whatever.
Close enough. Mm.
Shout out. And that'd be me. Thank you very much.
There you go. I'm going to also shout out Mike, who is away. And that's why he's not here, if anyone didn't know, because obviously people might not listen to last week's show when he was
They
telling
should
us he
listen.
was
It's a
going
good
in.
show.
They should do.
Yeah.
But they might not have done. We don't know.
Yeah.
And also Antonio, and thank him for coming along this week and filling in
Yeah.
as always.
Thank you.
Woo.
And Duke for taking the reins of doing all the other shit that
Yeah.
Ginny normally does.
Asymptotic stress levels go up when you gotta
Yeah,
do
they
the sound effects and record the show as audio and stream it and watch out for the YouTube clips and not get struck
and
for
don't
using
play
copyrighted
shit
material.
you don't meant to.
Ah.
Yeah, exactly. Even some of the other stuff you play, some of the videos, I don't know whether they're off YouTube as well.
Yeah, they're all off YouTube.
Yeah, there's a chance that's probably why we've had some of these taken down when you've been.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm supposed to be doing a video stream. I'm going to keep it interesting. And so if that means
Okay.
using stuff off YouTube, like YouTube needs to be kicking it off of the other YouTube if they want to kick it off of our YouTube. Like, let's have one set of rules, shall we?
Yeah, so let's have that.
Okay. Right.
Duke, go with
Well,
you.
my shout out will be to the Duchess because she made an awesome mulberry cake recently. And I had a piece of that earlier in the show. That was tasty. And she came through and pronounced smutty ups. So thank you for that. Shout out to Antonio for stepping in when Chinny was gone. And shout out to Smutty Ups himself for writing in. And whoever else wrote in, I can't remember. Shout out also to everybody who's been participating in the Duke polls this
They've been
week.
fun. They've been
The
fun.
most recent one was about chores. So washing dishes won with 68% of the vote. Dusting got 0
definitely
votes.
didn't do that.
People hate dusting. They don't mind cleaning the bathroom as much as they hate dusting. Cleaning the bathroom got 6% of the vote, which I thought was pretty amusing given the fact that who likes cleaning the bathroom? Well, apparently people like it slightly more than dusting. And then vacuuming up got 25% of the vote. Yesterday, the
That
middle
was me.
finger,
One
of
of them
course,
was me.
won the poll about fingers, but index fingers got a good few votes. Before that, it was Tiny Nations, and the Maldives won with 58% of the vote. But I think Seychelles is the best flag, so therefore they should have won. But whatever. Then there was a parts of the brain, prefrontal cortex, cerebellum, temporal lobe, and occipital lobe. And then I did Chinny's suggestion about ports, and USB won by a crazy margin. HDMI, Apple Lightning, and aux each took in, it was HDMI 9%, Apple Lightning 14%. That one surprised me. I thought everybody hated Apple Lightning port universally.
But
Oh,
say, if you
shit.
like lightning, you're mad.
Yeah,
Lightning is
exactly.
mad.
Cables just constantly broke. They were
Oh,
horrendous.
yeah. It's terrible. So thank you to everybody who participates in those. And I like going on Twitter early in the day and seeing how people did on the framed. Today's was, I love today's. Yeah. So thanks to everybody who keeps things fun on Twitter. And everybody taking to the streets protesting against this bullshit decision from the Supreme Court. I see you. We got work to do. Let's fix this. And thanks everyone for listening and watching.
Definitely.
Yeah, thank you everyone for listening.
Yeah. And I guess that's it, huh?
That's it.
Should I play the ending theme song?
I think you should.
Okay, here we go.
This is a song for all the people that never believed in me. All those enemies who said I don't have any talent nor skill. Well, I want to show them and all the young hustlers out there. You can do anything if you fight hard enough. You just gotta try. Don't let the haters stop you. Let the love shine through. Flying like jam from a donut or banging hard like a donkey in the zoo. Frying pans, Weetabix, cornflakes and gravy. Bankers, tankers, lovers in the Navy. Fresher than Jesus, wiser than the Buddha. Ride that wave of mystery like a barracuda. Reach deep down between your legs. Grippy gear stick like a hen lays eggs. It's so hard it never stops. Milky, milky Cocoa Pops. This song goes up and down. This beat goes out and in. My meat is on your nose. My balls are on your chin. This song goes up and down. This beat goes out and in. My meat is on your nose. My balls are on your chin. Your chinny chin. Your chinny chin. Your chinny chin. Your chinny chin. This is Will I Am. This song's gonna sell 1 billion copies. Zippity bow. See you later, guys.
Who does the bell toll for?
Oh my god, that never gets old.
Never.
Just
That was beautiful.
Never.
Absolutely beautiful.
I still love to know who that was.
We'll never
That's so
know.
long ago now, you know. That is so long ago.
That's
when
gonna
we
get
got
us a
those.
strike on YouTube.
How can he do? There's only us got that song.
No, that's it. I'm ending the recording right there.
Oh my god.
Beautiful.
That's the one.
But
Yeah.
oh my god, that song was so funny.
Woo!
That when
Oh man, I should have done a shout out to my mom. It's her wedding anniversary today.
I'm
How
sure
many
she
years?
wouldn't have listened.
Well, it's her latest fella, so it's
Would've.
probably 5 or so, something like that.
The latest fella.
Yeah, she's been through a lot. She had, my dad died, and then she was with this other guy, and then he passed away, and then she met this other dude, and he was a scumbag, so they broke up. And then there's this other dude, and they were pretty happy for a while. They were going to get married, but then he died, and then she met another dude who was kind of a
Holy
jerk.
crap, she's had 3 people die on her. That's awful.
Yes, it is. It's been terrible.
Wowee.
So, make your jokes, but no, I'm just playing.
No, I'm not making
No,
a
I
joke.
know,
I'm saying that's awful.
I know. It is.
That is
She's been through a
really
lot. That's
terrible.
the thing. Yeah, no doubt. My mom's she's a survivor. Yep.
Wowzers, Jesus.
So, anyway, on that happy note,
Anyway, Will I Am.
I'm going to stop